There has been no place like home in the 1987 World Series. Whitey Herzog's Cardinals are now just one game shy of a world title with Thursday's Game 5 victory. Danny Cox shut down the Twins, allowing just 5 hits. And Ozzie Smith just kept doing what he's done for 10 years. While Tony Pena, like everyone else, still marvels. But it was Kurt Ford's 6th-inning single that gave the Cardinals the lead and made the 27-year-old outfielder the series' latest unlikely hero. Todd Worrell came on to save the 4-2 win and send his team into Game 6, ahead in the series. Today from Minneapolis, the World Series moves on. ABC Sports presents the National League champion St. Louis Cardinals against the American League champion Minnesota Twins in Game 6 of the 1987 World Series. And welcome to the first day game in the World Series since 1984. And it's a good day to be inside because were we outside today, the temperature would be 41 degrees for the most comfortable 70 degrees inside the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome before a full house, and a house that, as we all know by now, roars like none other. Game 6 of the 1987 World Series. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to Minneapolis, and it's very simple right now. The St. Louis Cardinals would love to be home tonight. They can pop the champagne corks here, have a very pleasant flight home, and a nice celebration at the airport if they win and they send John Tudor to the mound. The Cardinals are seeking their first World Championship since 1982 when they beat Milwaukee in the World Series. The Minnesota Twins have never won a world title. They lost to the Dodgers in 1965 in the series, the only franchise World Series championship when they were back in Washington in 1924. And what the Twins have to do, of course, is to win 2. And during postseason play, they are 4-0 in the Metrodome. So it's that simple as we get set for Game 6 of the World Series from Minneapolis. We'll be back. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Kellogg's Nutrific Cereal. It's 4 brand new. By Tandy Computers, there is no better value. And by Allstate, for home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate.
I'm Arthur Newman. Women would love to get their arms around my brother Paul. So would investment firms. But I have a firm that loves to work for people like you and me, too. Dean Witter. You see, I may not be a heartthrob, but Dean Witter still handles my investments with tender, loving care.
You're somebody at Dean Witter.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Got the same old bowl
And the same old spoon.
but here's a tasty fiber breakthrough that's brand new. It's a traffic. It's 4 brand new. It's a breakthrough. I said 4 brand new.
Kellogg's Nutrific blends the goodness of wheat, corn, barley, and oat brands
It's nutritious.
in dark, hearty flakes
It's terrific.
with almond-covered raisins and almond slivers.
It's a traffic. It's 4 brand new.
You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole wide world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand.
Put the whole world in your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone. A price and technology breakthrough.
You've got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Dust off your policy, dig up your bill.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Do it right now, or you know you never will.
Come into Allstate and compare our low homeowners rates. You might just save some money.
Check through your files, look high and low. Get down to Allstate, you might save some dough.
Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
The World Series is a stage like no other. It's accentuated the careers of people like Babe Ruth and Yogi Berra and Reggie Jackson, but also a lot of unlikely heroes have emerged, and this World Series is no exception. When Twins catcher Tim Laudner homered in Game 2 Sunday night and added a run-scoring single and helped his club take a 2-0 edge in the series, it made some of us think back to a then light-hitting catcher in the 70s, Gene Tennis of the Oakland A's, who homered 4 times in the 1972 series. Then in Game 4 Wednesday night, the improbable happened. Twins pitching ace Frank Viola facing the Cardinals' little-used infielder Tom Lawless with 2 on and none out in a 1-1 game, served up a pitch that led to a 6-run Cardinal uprising. Was it shades of Al Weiss, who had hit .215 with 2 homers during the regular season, taking the Orioles' Dave McNally deep in Game 5 in the Mets' Berkeley year of 1969. These unknown heroes are an integral part of World Series legend. Certainly Roy Campanella could not have imagined Don Larson pitching a perfect game against his Dodgers in 1956.
Yes, gee, I can recall 1956 World Series when Don Larson pitched a perfect game. And I was next to the last out. And I was saying to myself, I'm going to try to hit this pitch to right field. But I wasn't as fortunate to do so. And I hit the ball to Jerry Coleman at second base for the second out.
And Cleveland's Al Rosen never could have expected that pinch hitter Dusty Rhodes would hit the game-winning homer for the New York Giants in the 10th inning of Game 1 back in 1954.
But most of all, it was Dusty Rhodes and the pinch hit home run that was 265 feet 6 inches, I guess. Bobby Avila going back and bouncing off the wall, trying to catch the ball, our second baseman. It was just Dusty Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes.
The 1927 Yankees were the Yankees of Ruth and Gehrig, and after being called the GOAT of the 26 series for his 4-era performance, Mark Koenig could only dream that he would be such a big contributor to the title for the 27 Yanks.
Well, I think about the first World Series 26 that I was the GOAT. I booted an easy double play ball, and we lost the ball game 4-3. We never should have lost the game. And then in 1927, I kind of redeemed myself. I had quite a good series. I had 9 hits out of 18 times up. And, the Wayner boys, they said that Koenig ruined us.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Now, every time you use MasterCard, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes. Look for the ballots and help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future. Not of time travel or cities in space, but of his family. His daughter practicing law. His wife heading her own business. Himself retired, writing detective stories. This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future and knew what it would take to get him there.
Yay!
Plans for investments and protection from the equitable. We have great plans for you.
The sun. So bright, so dependable, so perfectly designed. Ever wonder what's behind it? The workhorse from Rayovac. A flashlight 100% brighter than ordinary flashlights. And built to perform so reliably, it's practically as dependable as a sunrise. The workhorse from Rayovac.
We give you the power.
That cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a sparkle in your eye, a spring in your step, and makes things lots of fun.
It's that little lift from Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. It's that little lift. Come on and get you some.
That clean, fresh taste Wrigley's Spearmint's got. That little lift that means a lot.
It's that little lift from Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
Have you ever wondered just what flying is coming to?
Hi, I'm your talking ticket.
Oh.
Do you have baggage?
Oh, yes.
Hi, I'm your talking ticket. Do you have baggage?
I don't have any baggage.
Please enter the aircraft to the left. Hi, welcome aboard. Now let's adjust our seatbelts. Please put your seat back in the fully upright position.
At Alaska Airlines, our people go out of their way to show you they're only human.
The Los Angeles Rams. The Cleveland Browns. They meet on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Sunday on Disney.
My son happens to be a dog.
Get me out of here.
There is something about you lately.
Sunday.
Follow that dog.
The conclusion of the original Shaggy Dog.
In the 1987 World Series, 5 games down, 1 or 2 games to go, and like any World Series, a lot of sights and sounds that we'll remember for quite a while. Let's have a look back at the last week.
Now nothing's impossible, I have found, for when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip, be grateful for a pleasant trip, and pick yourself up, dust off, start over again. Work like a soul inspired until the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but you'll be a man, my son. Will you remember the famous men who had to fall to rise again? So take a deep breath, pick yourself up, start all over again. You gotta work like a soul inspired until the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but you'll be a man, my son. Will you remember the famous men who had to fall and then to rise again? So take a deep breath, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. That's enough now. Why put them on top? They're already in there. Strawberry in the middle. Get on strawberry squares. There's strawberry in the middle. Get on strawberry squares. You never have to slide some on top, 'cause we wrap whole wheat around the bigger crop. There's strawberry in the middle. Get on strawberry squares. Why put them on the top when they're already in there? Strawberry in the middle. Get on strawberry squares.
Listen, there's another reporter I gotta talk to.
Well, you scooped me again.
Jones, I didn't know you could read.
Where are you off to?
The airport.
Don't bother. I called. Our flight's canceled. Some mechanical thing.
Mm-mm. Your flight's canceled. I'm on American.
American? Where you going, anyway?
You read all about it in tomorrow's paper.
When you're something special, people know it. Downtown. 2:30 a.m. Empty city. Empty streets.
At times like this, you really appreciate how good Mr. Goodwrench is. He has the high-tech electronic equipment to analyze and adjust your high-tech General Motors car so you can drive with confidence anytime, anywhere. Mr. Goodwrench, no one knows your GM car better. No one.
Stereo television. Once you hear how great it sounds on a Zenith, you'll think we invented it. We did. Zenith. Quality. With so many automatic features, Zenith's new smaller VHS camcorder not only lets you take perfect pictures, it lets you show them again and again. Zenith. Quality.
I'm State Farm Agent Stan Griffin. Just talked to two of my car insurance policyholders, Bob and Doris Rhodes. They're off on another trip. For so-called retired folks, they sure get around. And they get a real feeling of security, seeing all those State Farm offices just about anywhere they drive. If they should ever run into trouble, they know a State Farm agent is there to help them get back on the road again.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
World Series Game 6 coming up shortly. Right now, let's join the PA announcer at the Metrodome, Bob Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored today to have the Joint Service Color Guard representing the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, and the Air Force. Now, during the past 3 weeks, baseball fans around the world have heard the highly bookable Metropolitan and Metrodome support for the Minnesota Twins from the Twin Cities in the upper Midwest. Our national anthem singers today will be accompanied by organist Ronnie Newman. And with us today to conduct these singers is the assistant conductor of the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, Mr. Joel Revson. And to sing our national anthem today, Major League Baseball and the Minnesota Twins invite you, the fans here in the Metrodome, to honor America with the Star Spangled Banner.
Series after this message from Major League Baseball and a word from your local station. Here comes the throw to the plate. Changes tag is not in front. McGee hits one deep to right and down the line into the corner and off the wall. McGee has a double.
ABC Sports and Major League Baseball present the official 1987 World Series highlight video cassette. All the dramatic moments, exclusive interviews, and special camera coverage. Send $19.98 by check, pay $3 for postage and handling, or use Visa or MasterCard. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR. The preceding announcement was furnished by Major League Baseball.
An empire was his destiny. She was his obsession. Beginning November 10th, Napoleon and Josephine, a love story.
It is one of the largest luxury hotel chains in the world. It is one of the world's foremost producers of automotive equipment. It is a leader in defense technology. It is one of the fastest growing financial service companies in America. It is ITT, a new ITT. If you're looking for a company that knows how to build businesses into leaders, this is it.
The guy is a victim of a multiple system deal his company made. Now management can't get operations help. PC users can't get the power they want. He's mad at his vendors. He's mad at me. It's nobody's fault. Anyway, I recommend the Wang VS. Don't trash his old systems, get management what they need, bring all his PC users together, keep his meat and potatoes applications, just tie it all together with a VS. Perfect. And he saw that. When he saw that, tears came into his eyes. Come on. Well, sort of.
Well, the challenge is to make an inexpensive car that is not cheap.
Yeah, but we're not talking about an Econobox. We're talking about a real car.
But when you get in the center, you don't feel like you're in a boxy little car.
People are responding to this, too, because there's over
There is tremendous consumer satisfaction in this car, and that is very satisfying.
There wouldn't be a million on the road. It's a challenge.
You know what a challenge is? The challenge is
making my 3-year-old eat meatloaf.
Nissan, built for the most important race of all, the human race.
Three-way shooting, stress and gridlock, Thursday at 4, 5, and 6.
ABC Sports presents the National League champion St. Louis Cardinals against the American League champion Minnesota Twins in Game 6 of the 1987 World Series. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet, the official car and truck of Major League Baseball. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Merrill Lynch. They are roaring already. The chant begins. Let's go Twins. Let's go Twins. Under the dome, 41 degrees outside, 70 and very noisy inside. And welcome to Game 6 of the World Series. Al Michaels with you, and obviously the St. Louis Cardinals would love to be on a plane going home. They won the 3 games at Busch, but the Twins have won the first 2 games of the series here. And today and tomorrow, of course, would be held here. No team in the history of the World Series has won all the home games. There have been situations where teams have won the home games through the first 6, but never all the way. That's what the Twins will try to accomplish here for a world title. Let me turn now to Tim McCarver, and let's talk about the home field advantage, which is obviously something that can be proved statistically. But how much of a home field advantage is this for the Minnesota Twins?
Well, I'll tell you, Al, I can't really think of a team since the 1961 Yankees who have more of a home field advantage than the Minnesota Twins. They are 60-25 this year at the Metrodome. The one problem today is the matchup. They have Les Straker going against John Tudor, and consider Les Straker. He was 8-10 on the regular season. However, he did pitch very, very well against the Cardinals. The one thing to remember today is, I think, Al, that the Minnesota Twins are going to be playing this game today. Even though it's Game 6, they'll be playing it like it's Game 7, because after all, if they lose this ball game, they will be going home and have a long winter. And for that reason, I think Les Straker, if he's in trouble, will be removed early.
Might even see Reardon a little bit earlier, because as you say, if they don't win today, there is no tomorrow. Let me turn to Jim Palmer now. Let's talk about the fact the first 2 games, the Twins did what they've done so well successfully all season long. Hit with power. Cardinals did their thing at home with speed. Now, do you necessarily feel the Twins would have the upper hand, the major advantage over these next 2 games, if there are 2 games?
Well, you never have a major advantage if you have to face John Tudor. But if you go back to the playoffs, they faced 2 guys from the Tigers, talking about the Twins here in Minneapolis. Doyle Alexander came in 9-0 in his last 11 starts. They beat him, and then Jack Morris had not lost in the Metrodome 8 times in a row, and yet they beat him. But the interesting thing to me about this World Series is, in the first 2 games, which were blowouts, 10-1 and 8-4, you never really heard much about the Cardinals' speed. Then they go to St. Louis, and what happens is they steal 8 bases, a 3-run inning, a 6-run inning, and another 3-run inning, and they come here leading.
So we are all set now for Game 6 of the 1987 World Series. Tudor and Straker at the Dome.
For the first winter ever, there's actually an antifreeze that will guarantee your radiator. The antifreeze? New Prestone Advanced Formula. Use it after using Prestone Super Flush. And should our protection fail, no matter which model car you have, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. New Prestone Advanced Formula. The antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
Toyota. It's advertised as who could ask for anything more. Nissan. They say it makes you feel like driving. Honda states that they make it simple. So why are so many of these make it simple, who could ask for anything more, make you feel like driving automobiles being traded in on the new 4-door Chevy Corsica and the new Chevy Beretta Coupe? Time marches on.
I'm here for some straight talk about the stock market. It's important to everyone. It provides capital that creates jobs to make America grow. Emotions can run high during market turbulence, just when reason should prevail. We are confident in the markets. We've stayed active in them for all investors. America's economy is the strongest in the world with great ability to bounce back. At Merrill Lynch, we're still bullish on America.
I practically live out of a suitcase. So I always call 800-221-2222 and make the quality choice for great lodging anywhere. Oh, Quality Inns always gives me a big, comfortable room. The service is impeccable at Clarion Hotels. And Comfort Inn saved me lots of dollars. Franks. Wherever you go, just call 800-221-2222 and you're all set. Unless your luggage gets lost. This isn't Pittsburgh, is it?
Thursday, the good guys make it happen.
First, me, Sledgehammer, handing out justice with a G. Then, it's the Charmings with comedy that'll knock your socks off. Then, he's bad. He's mad. He's the Clint with a glint in his magnum. Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, you could say that.
Whoa. The big guy goes over the edge in the network television premiere of Tightrope. And you thought there was nothing around to make your day. Thursday.
Homer Hankies out in force, saluting the Minnesota Twins as they just took the field. And the lineup for the Cardinals, Coleman leading off. He came to the park with the flu. Smith bats second. Tommy Herr hitting third in the Cardinal lineup with Dreesen, the cleanup batter. And in the switch hitting, Willie McGee. Terry Pendleton is in the lineup today. He is the DH. Again, the DH in effect in the American League Park. Ford, Game 5 hero, bats seventh. Okendo, who moves around, plays third. And Tony Pena bats ninth in the lineup with Tudor, the pitcher. Now for Minnesota defensively, the outfield is Gladden, Puckett, and Brunansky. The infield, as usual, Gaetti, Gaffney, Lombardozzi, and Herbeck. Tim Laudner is back of the plate, and Les Straker on the mound, who pitched very well the other night. And once again, let's get the inside pitch on Straker from the Milwaukee Brewers, Paul Molitor.
The important factor for Les Straker being effective is getting through those first few innings. He has a tendency early in the ball game to give up big innings. Now what happens is he'll get a few runners on base and get a little bit flustered. Now, as a hitter, the advantage will swing in your direction. If you can just be patient in these situations, eventually he's going to give you a good pitch to hit in these run-scoring situations.
And the other night, he pitched brilliantly, and Kelly will take that right to the bank. If you could tell Tom right now, and Reggie asked him the other night after the game, if he gets 6 innings, are you going to yank him again? And Tom said, absolutely.
And Paul Molitor said that he gets flustered in the early innings. Well, the other night, he didn't have a chance to get flustered because Cardinal runners weren't on, but if they get on, if anybody can fluster you, the Cards can.
Well, especially the guy with the flu that can fly, and we're talking about Coleman. He has 6 stolen bases, and as we said in the opening, the difference between this series is who has been able to get on in which ballpark. They weren't able to do it here. A lot of runs, it doesn't matter.
Terry Tata of the National League is the plate umpire along with the rest of the crew. If we went to a 7th game, it would mean Dave Phillips, the first base umpire, who was the plate umpire in Game 1, would call him tomorrow. And Vince Coleman to lead things off. Coleman, Smith, and Herr.
Something happened just then that I have never seen. Vince Coleman came out and had the home plate umpire, Terry Tata, check the ball. I mean, for what reason? The ball hasn't been in play yet.
Well, I'll tell you what reason. A lot of times, some umpires rub the ball more than others, and they all put the river mud on it, and some are much darker. So if you're a leadoff hitter, you want to know if it's too dark.
Crescendo builds for the first pitch of the game, and it's outside. And again, Coleman not feeling well, coming to the park and dragging. And so obviously a touch of the flu or under the weather, but still in the lineup in Game 6. Smith and Herr to follow. Takes a strike.
speaking of dragging, a very good bunter. 44 infield hits, 14 bunts. You can see Gary Gaetti playing well in front of the bag at third, and that's what you have to do. He's still going to bunt, because if he bunts it to the right side, you can see how deep Lombardozzi is playing. He can beat the pitcher to the bag.
1-2. The crowd has picked right up where they left off last Sunday. I mean, they are in ninth inning form in the first inning.
Some of them, as a matter of fact, came out here, if you remember the other night, 29,000 strong. They paid $1 to get in. The money went to charity and made themselves a ball.
Well, this is the pitch that Whitey Herzog said is better than a major league average fastball. It's about 90 miles per hour in St. Louis. It looks even quicker here in the Dome, where the hitters say they don't pick up the ball as well.
So Coleman gone. Ozzie Smith, 5 for 20 in the series. Smith, 303 during the regular season, and once again a much better left-handed hitter. He batted .335 left-handed. Out of play, and it's 1-1.
I was very impressed with the comments that Les Straker, not only impressed the way he pitched in Game 3, but he said, hey, this is another game. You say that, but I think he learned a lot from that, really his second postseason play, which was that third game, because he threw strikes, he found out what he had to do to be successful, and if he can do it today, he'll be successful again.
2-1 on Ozzie Smith. Straker, we told you about him the other night when he pitched in Game 3. 10 years in the minors. His wife helped kept him going and interested in baseball, and he finally got his shot this year. He's from Venezuela, 28 years old. To center field, Kirby Puckett is right there. 2 gone. Bases empty, and Tommy Herr is the hitter.
Excuse me, Al. He's going to face 8 left-handed hitters. And the interesting thing is his stats are much better against right-handers. Right-handers, he gives up a home run once every 19 times at bat, but again, once every 35. But a left-hander's a little bit, I guess, more difficult for him to get out, even though he has a pretty good breaking ball and a good changeup. 1 home run every 19 times up.
Tommy Herr. He's really struggled in postseason. 0-1.
Changeup we were talking about, and Tim, what you said in the pregame, they just have so much more confidence, is really, I guess, told in the way that they're Straker's numbers, 6 and 3 here at home, 2 and 7 on the road.
Well, it's said that the eyes are the windows of the soul, and if that's true, this guy's got a great set of eyes, I tell you, very relaxed. Saw him before the ball game and asked him how much rest he got last night, if he had rested. That is Les Straker. He said he got 10 hours of sleep. I said, how can you sleep for 10 hours before a game like this? He said, I'm honestly relaxed, and I really agree with you, Jim. I think the guy was just telling us that. I think he's relaxed. His eyes really denote that.
In the air to deep right field, and Bernansky looking up at this one, and gone. And so that stills the crowd in a big hurry. Tommy Herr. And had he been in a drought, it had been a long time since Herr had driven in a run in a World Series game.
Only his 3rd home run of the year.
And you have to go back to 1982. Herr in the series in 82 and also in 85.
Got a look on a slider. He threw a fastball by him, and then he does speed up his bat when he gets a slider in the middle of the plate.
to Dan Dreesen. Another look here at her, who did not drive in a run in the 85 series and had not driven in one in 87. That's hit down to Herbeck, who shovels to Straker, and the Cardinals are done. But Her hits a homer. Cards won. Twins coming up.
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over.
What's up?
It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here. Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did he get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Listen to the heartbeat. S10 of America. This is our road, nothing stands in the way. This truck, this man, the work or play.
When you want to go from freewheeling to 4x4 fun, Chevy S10 lets you do what Ford and Toyota can't. Shift and keep right on going with standard Instatrack.
The heartbeat of America. Chevy S10. Today's Chevy truck.
Minnesota Twins. Gladden leading off, and then Gagne bats second. Kirby Puckett in the 3 spot. He's looking to get hot. Gary Gaetti has 6 hits in the 6 games. The DH today is Don Baylor batting 5th. Then Tom Brunansky looking to get hot, as is Ken Herbeck, who sees yet another lefty. The number 8 hitter is the catcher Tim Laudner. And hitting 9th in the order is Steve Lombardozzi. And they'll be facing John Tudor, the winner in Game 3. And let's get the inside pitch on John from the San Diego Padres, Tony Gwynn, the National League batting champion.
John Tudor's real deliberate, so it appears that he's overpowering, but I think it's his windup that really lulls you to sleep. He's got great composure on the mound. Nothing ever rattles him. And when he's on, he's really tough to hit. You can't go up there and sit on one pitch. You've got to go up there and just try to get your bat on the ball. But if he doesn't have his good stuff, then he has a tendency to be wild high. But I think the reason why he's been so effective is the development of his changeup.
Defensively, Coleman, McGee, and Ford in right. The infield of Oquendo at third, then Smith, Her, and Dreesen. Tony Pena does the catching for St. Louis. And John Tudor trying to clinch a championship. He leads 1-0 on a home run by Tommy Her. And Dan Gladden, who is the only player to get a hit in all 5 World Series games thus far. Gladden to lead off, and Gagne and Puckett. It was Dan who started the World Series with the Grand Slam home run in Game 1 on Saturday night. And there's Les Straker, who set down the first 2, got a hit on Tommy Her, and the next thing you know, it's in the upper deck. The reaction of Straker as Her's shot left the park.
It's not the first time a pitcher will close his eyes after a home run.
That's grounded by Danny Dreesen. It's a fair ball and into the corner. Gladden has at least 2, and Ford has trouble, so Gladden is on his way to third, and he's in there.
Already we may see a different approach by the right-handed hitters of the Twins. Tudor going inside to Gladden, and Danny just fights it off. And you'll notice he does not pick up the third base coach. A base runner really doesn't need the third base coach that much. That's one instance that a runner may need the third base coach, but Gladden really uses his own. You see, he doesn't pick him up. He makes up his mind once he gets to second that he's going to third. Good play.
Cardinal infield with Smith and Her back. Only Oquendo is up at third with nobody out. Gagne takes outside, ball 1. Gagne checking with Reddick, and he's saying, hit it, baby. No squeeze here.
Well, that's what Calvin Griffith, the former owner, said in the paper today. Just wait on Tudor and hit him in right field. So apparently they took him seriously. A lot easier to talk about it than do it.
1-1.
Well, really, when you talk to the hitters, they said what they learned that Tudor threw so many changeups and also a lot of fastballs away, that he's very difficult to pull. So that's one of his strengths. One of your weaknesses as a hitter is that you try to pull him. You get out on that front foot, a lot of fly balls, and then you allow the ball inside to be more effective. Gladden went right with that and has standing on third base, nobody out.
And oddly, the first time a Cardinal pitcher has had to work out of a stretch in the first inning outside, even though I'm saying that in a figurative sense, with Tudor working from a windup, the graphic illustrating it. The first time the Twins have been a man on in the first in the entire series. Mike Rourke, the pitching coach, and Whitey Herzog. Waved at it, chased it. It would have been 3-1.
Well, this is the kind of park where you know you're going to give up some runs. What you want to do is limit them. Now, Gagne helps Tudor out by swinging the ball that's down and away. Tudor's strength against Gagne's weakness. But Tudor does not. He'll give up that run. If you get the first guy out, then maybe you want to strike out the next batter. But you don't want to have a big inning and put your team out of it, especially when you're leading 3-2.
2-2 pitch is a one-hopper to her, and he looks Gladden back and throws him out. Gladden was sort of frozen when the ball left the bat with the infield back. Gladden had to hesitate, and then by the time he decided he might come home, it was too late.
Yeah, that's because of the perception of looking at Tommy Herr. The ball hit right at it. You're reminded, if you're the runner at third and less than 2 out, to watch the line drive. That was a line drive fielded on one hop. You can certainly understand the plight of Dan Gladden on that particular play.
It's the kind of play where if he hits a 2-hopper, he comes home.
Right.
So despite the infield playing back, the ball hit on a line far enough that Gladden was frozen, and the Cardinals get pretty much a gift out in this situation without yielding the run. Puckett, the batter.
And all they've been doing to Kirby is pound him in. He's expanded the strike zone, has not really hit too many strikes, and he feels he can hit that pitch, but hasn't been able to do it.
That's grounded into left field to tie the game.
And the reason they've been pitching him inside is because of the 28 home runs. They feel they can tie him up. That time, you can see Tudor shaking his head. He knows he made a mistake. Gave him something out over the plate. Watch him reach for this ball. More or less right in the middle of the plate. Smith way up the middle, and you have a run.
One tie with 1 out, and Gary Gaetti, the batter. Puckett, good speed at first. Change low, 1-0.
Same thing holds truth in Game 3 as you take a look at Danny Gladden. Watch Tony Pena, the catcher. If Tudor is on today, he will be throwing the ball where Pena moves to. If he's not, he's going to be in trouble.
During the regular season, caught 7 times.
Well, down from 2 years ago and last year where he had around 20 steals, and that's because he hit third instead of leadoff, and you just don't run as much in front of Gaetti as Herbeck.
2-0.
You don't really run as much either when you have 28 home runs. You're not on to run enough.
Well, it's funny. He hit more home runs last year and had more stolen bases, but he's just changed his position. And Tom Kelly said, why do I want to get him thrown out with Herbeck sitting there with 34 home runs or Gaetti with 31?
This is not normally a hit-and-run situation with the count 2-0. You want a guy like Gaetti to choose one pitch, a small zone, and whack it. 2-1's a different story. The you do want a power hitter. If you're the manager, you want to give him one shot. Same with 3 and 1, not a good running situation. But 3 and 2, it's a different story.
Time called with Gaetti stepping out. A 1-1 tie in the bottom of the first inning. The crowd roaring already with Puckett at first base. And Tudor working on Gaetti. 2-0.
Pitch here at the Metrodome. The comparison between Busch Stadium and here, you can't even see the fences from the pitching mound at Busch Stadium.
A little squibber toward third. Oquendo charges, throws on the run, got him. Down to second goes Puckett. 2 down on a bang-bang play at first base, and Don Baylor coming up.
What makes this play so difficult is where you're playing. You have to throw across from your body, but also he's playing well behind third base, and you can see it's very close. Nice pickup by Danny Dreesen.
Oquendo admittedly the other day said that it's tougher to play third base than it is shortstop. A lot of people would think the other way, but because he's so used to playing shortstop, he told me that he really didn't have enough time to position himself at third base.
I found something after Brooks Robinson retired. He never worried about where he played in the 18 years he was with the Orioles. The minute you get a younger third baseman, you're constantly moving him from a managerial standpoint.
Don Baylor takes a strike, 0-1.
I guess it could be said that you have to be quicker as a third baseman, but more wide-ranging as a shortstop.
Oquendo off the line at third, back of the bag for Baylor, who played in the World Series last year as well with Boston. 1-1. Postseason games with the DH in use, those would be the playoff games, and the 2 here, 7.4 a game. But in the 3 games without, those 3 in St. Louis, 1.7. Lined into right field for a base hit. Rennick is waving, Puckett in, and Ford boots it. Baylor takes the turn and holds 2-1.
As I said, Tony Pena sits up and in. The ball is up and away, so John missed by about 2 feet. And you can see right there, Kurt Ford is looking at the runner. He really didn't charge the ball. He does not have a play at home plate. Almost cost him a single into a double.
Brunansky, strike. 2-1 Twins in the bottom of the first. Tomorrow night, if the Twins win a 7th game, Tom Kelly knows he's got Viola. Before the game, Whitey Herzog, and the other day he had talked about maybe Cox on a couple of days rest for 5 innings. Before the game, he said he's contemplating McGrain, who pitched in game 1. And down goes Brunansky on a pitch on the inside corner. So the Twins get a pair, lead 2-1 after 1.
The outlook for financial markets is encouraging. Interest rates are now declining, and the fear of significantly higher inflation seems unwarranted. Government officials appear ready to achieve stability in the dollar. This is good news. And the message from the financial markets to policymakers is clear. Address the budget and trade deficits. At Merrill Lynch, we are confident, indeed optimistic, about the resiliency of the financial markets and the environment ahead for investors.
AT&T comes through with an advanced telemarketing solution. When a trucker's down, he needs service fast. But where does he find help in the middle of nowhere? That's why Goodyear turned to AT&T. Now a trucker just calls 1-800 number to reach the nearest service outlet. So he can get back on the road in no time at all. And sometimes, even sooner. From equipment to networking, from computers to communications, AT&T is the right choice.
Nice flying, Greg.
Thanks.
So, you're really not going to do another tour?
Nah, Susan and I have made plans.
You're going to miss this place.
Murdoch, my mind's made up, all right?
Then I guess you're going to want this.
American accepted me.
Looks like I'm going back to flight school.
I hope they know they're getting one of the best.
When you're something special, people know it.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Take a look at the go-ahead single by Don Barrow. What's Pena? Way inside. Look where the ball is. Out over the plate. He misses literally by about 2.5 feet. Tudor cannot do that and be successful.
Really a fine point, Jim, because you could see Pena go all the way from inside off the plate to outside off the plate.
Again, this is 3 days rest for Tudor. A lot of people feel that would be beneficial to him in a way because he's a control pitcher. Does not have his control as of yet.
So the Cardinals with Smith and Tudor and Vince Coleman. Ozzie talking about hitting and Tudor talking about or thinking about the bottom of the first inning. Now to the second. Leading things off is McGee. He'll be followed by Pendleton and Ford. Funny, McGee having a good series, but fanning a lot.
Well, Bert Blyleven and that curveball will do it to you, but really, such extremes. And here's a guy that I would call a contact hitter. Doesn't really try to pull the ball. Only 11 home runs on the year.
2-1.
Leads both teams in hitting and strikeouts.
Amazing.
Strange combination, isn't it?
You can see a guy leading a team in home runs and strikeouts, but very rarely would you see somebody lead a team in hitting over the course of a season and in strikeouts.
He just blows the ball right by McGee, this outside high fastball.
Shot toward the middle. Lombardozzi is there to make a nice play and get him. Lombardozzi was over toward the middle and able to make a strong throw to nail McGee. One gone.
Playing exactly where he should, up the middle. You see him really not going that far to his right, but he does know that McGee can run, plants, and fires. He's played an outstanding second base throughout this World Series. Again, defensing the hitter properly is the key to this play.
So one down, and Pendleton is the batter. Terry, the DH, and again, Pendleton injured himself in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series. Rib muscle. He can bat left-handed. He could not earlier in the series play third. He still can't bat right-handed, but Herzog can use him. He said now a couple of innings in the field if necessary. He can play third, at least for a little while. 2-0. Straker kept himself out of trouble in Game 3 as he walks Pendleton here. Straker allowed 2 walks 6 innings in Game 3. And 4 hits. Kurt Ford now, who had the hit to break a scoreless tie in the 6th inning on Thursday. Cardinals going with Ford against right-handed pitching with Oquendo at third. And then when a lefty works, they move Oquendo to the outfield and Lawless playing third with Ford on the bench, and that would figure to be the scenario again tomorrow night if the Twins win today and force a 7th with Viola. Pendleton normally a real good threat to steal, but that rib muscle comes into play here, and he said the one problem he has is when he starts. His first couple of steps. 1-0 on Ford.
We saw him break on that pitch. It didn't seem to bother him. I think a lot of times what a base runner will do, I know when I used to pitch, you could see him break like that sometimes. When you look over, they're trying to get your cadence down. If you do it again, he may go. You think maybe you don't want to take away the hole, give Ford a chance to hit it through the right side.
Hit sharply to Lombardozzi, who is able to keep it in front of him and throw him out to save 1 out. Lombardozzi making sure he got Ford as Pendleton goes to second. So 2 down, and Oquendo is the batter.
Well, hit hard, but again, Lombardozzi showing good range. This is the ball he is thinking of getting the lead runner. Once he knocks it down, he knows he has no choice but at first base. Boy, that's one of those emotional things. You know you want to get the lead runner. Once you don't come up with it cleanly, you better get the sure out.
Now Oquendo with a man at second. 2 down inside. And here's one difference between the DH and no DH. If this was in St. Louis, you'd have the 8th hitter with first base open, Oquendo, and the pitcher coming up. And now you got the number 8 hitter and Pena on deck. Full of the story. And Oquendo and Pena have both done some damage during the series.
Oquendo has never seen snowfall. And early this morning, he was up very early in an attempt. He heard it was going to flurry, and he was up early wanting to see his first snowfall. And the weatherman didn't oblige. Here we are playing indoors, and it may be snowing outside.
Temperature this morning was in the low 30s. It was 41 outside at game time as Oquendo takes a strike and is still on.
And that is the key to Game 3. Holding runners hitless.
Oquendo's bat has secret weapon on it. It's a special model made up by Louisville Slugger. They sent him 3 with secret weapon on there. You gotta love it.
3-1. Have a look so you can read it. There it is. Secret weapon.
I'm not too sure that weapon's secret anymore.
No.
He's used it too much. So has Whitey Herzog. What a job he did for Whitey all season long. Starting at 7 positions and playing 8.
3-2.
You read so much about players, and what I read about Oquendo, he's the first guy at the ballpark. He sits on his stool. He asks Whitey if he's going to play. If he isn't, he runs a couple of miles, and then every time we're here, 5 hours before game time, he's the first player in the Cardinal locker room. Having a lot of fun.
3-2, 2 down. 2-1 Minnesota in the second. Runner goes, and it's hit into right field for a base hit. Pendleton was running, and he scores, and the game is tied. So Pendleton figuring he had third base stolen. Otherwise, in that situation, you'd be crazy to go with 2 out. He just figured they were giving it to him, he would take it, and he also has that rib muscle pull, so maybe he thought he'd take extra advantage as long as they were giving him that much room.
You know what he may be proving? He may be proving to Whitey Herzog that if the defensive switch is necessary, he can indeed throw. I mean, that's one of the biggest surprises of the series, having Terry Pendleton trying to steal third base in a situation that's not a good stolen base situation.
2 out, 2 strikes.
Well, he told Whitey in the training room that he couldn't hit right-handed, but he could field. I don't know if Whitey believed him, but with that kind of jump, he's going to score easily. I think that the pitching coach, Dick Such, went out to talk to Les Straker. He threw O'Kendall 3 straight changeups. Now, we saw that once before with the bases loaded. Danny Cox 3 straight changeups to Randy Bush. The result, a double down the right field line. Maybe they want to change the pitching sequence.
So the game tied 2-2 with O'Kendall at first base, 2 down, and Tony Pena at the plate. Pena, who had a very disappointing regular season, 214, has had a good World Series after a good playoff series. Backhanded by Laudner, and one reason would be the glasses. He started wearing glasses at the end of the regular year. He doesn't wear them when he catches, he says, because he has problems with the mask. The mask and the glasses come off, and during the winter he's going to experiment with contact lenses in winter ball. One ball and 1 strike to count.
To pick up on what Jim just said, the 3 straight changes to O'Kendall, you know, by its very definition, the changeup means you're changing from a different speed. If you throw 3 in a row, the third ceases to be a surprise because you're no longer changing. 3 in a row, the same speed.
Two and 1. 3 in a row. I guess the pitcher's thinking, well, he knows I threw 2, so he can't think I'm going to throw 3, so I'm going to try to outthink him and all of that.
Well, to amplify Timmy's point, he did get fooled. He just didn't get as fooled as much if he had thrown a fastball in there to give him another perspective.
There goes O'Kendall, and it's driven to center field, but right at Puckett for the out. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left at the end of an inning and a half, a 2-2 tie in Game 6.
I bought this Van Heusen for Michael. I think he's going to have a tough time getting it back.
Van Heusen, for a man to wear and a woman to borrow. Never before has an antifreeze guaranteed your radiator. Use new Prestone Advanced Formula after Super Flush, and should our protection fail, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. Prestone, the antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
Shearson Lehman Brothers, where we stand. The extraordinary events in the stock market are as unsettling as they are unprecedented. To help you through this difficult time, all Shearson Lehman Brothers offices will remain open late and all day Saturday. Now, more than ever, talk with us. Shearson Lehman Brothers, minds over money.
Well, Bob, here it is. Top of the ninth, 2 out. Kaminsky's at bat.
And here's the pitch. Uh-oh, that ball's going. You can kiss that, baby. Holy cow, it hit the Stroh's billboard in right field.
I know that 30-pack is big.
But, Jim, would you look at the size of that billboard?
I know, Bob. That's what Kaminsky was looking at. And look who just got tagged out at second.
The Stroh's 15 and 30-pack. With more cans in every case. What more could you ask for?
This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future. Not of time travel or cities in space, but of his family. His daughter practicing law. His wife heading her own business. Himself retired, writing detective stories. This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future and knew what it would take to get him there. Daddy! Plans for investments and protection from the equitable. We have great plans for you.
Ken Herbeck's been struggling. He faces Tudor today. I asked him what he expects to see from John this afternoon.
Well, I'm sure he's going to throw some curveballs. He likes throwing a lot of curveballs to left-handed hitters, and I know he'll throw a few in there, but you can't sit and look at the curveball because he's sneaking there with the fastball, which he did to me over at their place. But I'm looking for fastballs to hit, and if I can sit back and keep my weight back, I can react to a curveball and you know, hopefully slap it the other way or something.
Kent Hrbek, who struggled through the playoffs and through the series, he's 4 for 17 now. The number 7 hitter, and starts him with a curve. Does Tudor, ball 1.
That's what Johnson's biggest problem is that he faces 8 right-handers, 1 lefty, and he said sometimes he has trouble with his control, and the only person he throws curveballs to are left-handers, so he'd like to see a few more in there. It makes his job a little bit easier. You can see that Kent does not hit left-handers very well.
Half swing fastball, and the count 2-1.
Nor the fastball up. He is a low ball hitter, 34 home runs, 285, one of his best years ever.
That's because Kent's an ex-hockey player. You know, I would imagine that hockey players with that type of swing would be more inclined to hit the ball down. Richie Hebner, another one. John Tudor, also a hockey player.
That's right.
After the 1985 series, as a matter of fact, John Tudor, they were doing a story on him, Sports Illustrated, and he suited up and skated with the St. Louis Blues hockey team.
Yeah. We'll never know about Kirk McCaskill because he plays in the league with the DH.
Right.
But he was the best of the baseball-playing hockey players. High drive to right field. Ford going back, looking up into the ceiling with McGee, and Willie drops the ball. Picked up by Ford, and Hrbek stops at second. And had Hrbek been going all out, he would have wound up at third. But he knew it wasn't going out, and he went into a trot.
Right. Well, we talked about in game 1 and 2, you can't see the ball sometimes coming off the bat. Right here, McGee knows that Ford doesn't see the ball. He's calling for it, but look at his eyes. Do you think he sees it? I don't think McGee did. And what they say is that you can't see it. You can't look at the other outfielder because if you do, you lose the ball and you can't pick it up. And it looked like it was evident there.
I'll tell you, that play affected 2 senses, sight and hearing.
It's a very important point because the Cardinals are saying the biggest problem is hearing the other guy. So Hrbek at second will get the scoring. Laudner takes low, ball 1, 1-0. It is an error charged to Willie McGee. Hrbek at second, could have been at third.
Should have been at third.
Yep.
Exactly.
Laudner at the plate. And will it be big? Well, you don't know. Of course, with Laudner at the plate, let's say it's a fly ball here for an out. Might have scored Hrbek. Strike. 1-1. Herb Ford. Cardinals playing here, of course, the first 2 games last week and had a chance to work out on Thursday and Friday of last week, so they're a little more comfortable with his feeling. But you'd never know it. Pick-off play, nail him. Oh, boy. You talk about wasting an opportunity. Hrbek at second instead of third, and then he gets picked off.
And that is one reason why he may have gotten a bigger lead. He knows he should have been at third. Does not run that well. He's put on a little bit of weight over the last couple of years trying to get a bigger jump, and second baseman, Tommy Hers, his job is to try to put pickoff plays on to keep him closer. In this case, they pick him off. Nowhere to go with nobody out.
Yeah, with 2 outs, that's exactly right, Jim. With 2 outs, you could understand that pickoff play. Not with nobody out, because you can advance to third on an infield out or a long fly ball.
There's a little squibber. Tudor has it and throws him out. And that's out number 2. 2 out, bases empty in the bottom of the second inning, a 2-2 tie. And Steve Lombardozzi comes up. Rourke and Herzog. And Tom Kelly. With Laudner sitting down next to him.
The one thing on fly balls, the one thing Willie McGee said, the really unusual thing is that normally you can see the ball go up, you can look around where everybody is, the infielders, your fellow outfielders, but you can't do it here. And that's the one thing you can't get used to. You get used to the ball off the bat, you get used to the ball coming down, but it's just so contrary to what you do as a normal outfielder. I think it's one of the big reasons it's so difficult to play the outfield, especially for a visiting outfielder.
That's wrapped into right center for a a base hit. And what's Herbeck thinking on the bench right now? Two-out single, and Gladden comes up. He tripled in the first, inside first base.
We're not sitting here trying to indict Kent Herbeck, but he did make two base running mistakes. Didn't hustle, then gets picked off. But the key to beating the Cardinals is to get way ahead. One run, they have the favorite, and they're definitely favorites.
Gladden tries to bunt his way on, and it's a foul ball.
They have showed demonstrably over the last 3 games that anytime they want to run, they can run. And we saw in 10-1, 8-4, they're not going to run. And if they do, it doesn't really make any difference. So every run is valuable.
2-2 tie in the bottom of the second inning, Game 6 of the World Series. Cardinals leading 3 games to 2. Lombardozzi at first base. 2 down. 1-1. Herbeck, who had gone up the ramp, now comes back. Toward the middle by even Ozzie Smith. Couldn't get that one. And around the third goes Lombardozzi.
Well, Dan Gladden clearly has taken a different approach with John Tudor. He tripled his first at bat going the other way, and you can really see that front shoulder with that swing. Change up away, that's the only way you can hit that pitch, is keeping that front shoulder in there. The ball appeared to go under Ozzie's glove, but if he comes up with that, I don't believe he has a play on it anyway. Now,
Gagne grounds it out in the first inning. And he grounds one down to Smith, and they get the force. And so the Twins really waste an opportunity in the second. 2-2 as we go to the third, back after this from your local station.
Steve, the idea is to get it all the way here. Out by a mile.
MacGyver, Monday on ABC.
So, how's business? Not bad. Why do you ask? Well, you're driving a new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, so I presume...
Presume nothing, except my eye for an opportunity. I leased it.
You can lease a Mercedes S-Class?
Sure. I got it through my Mercedes-Benz dealer. They're offering very good rates right now. Plus, they know how to look after their customers.
So, after golf, do you think we could drive past your Mercedes-Benz dealer?
We're your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealers, like no other dealers in the world.
91 Bravo, proceeding on rescue training mission.
One weekend a month, you can take off for the beach, the mountains, or a drive in the country in the Army Reserve.
Subject spotted.
Be all that you can be.
It's no picnic, but it's the kind of excitement no other weekend offers.
Mission completed. We're heading home.
And you'll still have 3 weekends a month to take off on your own.
Find your future in the Army Reserve.
How do other Japanese imports see the 1988 Dodge Ram 50? To Toyota, Ram 50's roomier standard cab looks like this. To Mazda, Ram 50's more powerful standard engine looks like this. And to Nissan, Ram 50's bigger standard payload looks like this. So if you're looking for more than you bargained for, you'll find it at your Dodge dealer, along with the roomy new Ram 50 Sports Cab. Dodge Import Trucks, we're going places.
Freeway shooting, stress, and gridlock Thursday at 4, 5, and 6.
Third inning at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Al Michaels with Jim Palmer and Tim McCarver. Game 6 of the World Series. Game 7 if the Twins win tomorrow night. It would start at 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. And the Cardinals will send to the mound either Danny Cox or Joe McGrain. Whitey Herzog unsure. It'll probably be a committee tomorrow night. And Minnesota with Frank Viola. We know that. Third inning, Coleman, Smith, and Herr coming up. Coleman struck out in the first. So Les Straker, who gave Kelly 6 good innings the other night, has been touched for a run tonight or today in each of the first 2. And he starts with Coleman here in the third. 0-1 on Vince, who we told you before came to the park with a touch of the flu today.
The only negative that I can see in looking at Coleman's year. He struck out 126 times. It's something we talked about. They like him to take. They'll take many times until he has 2 strikes. And when he becomes a better contact hitter, it's going to be unbelievable. They're never. I mean, that's when he's going to steal the 200 bases that he talks about.
1-2 to him. It's slowly to Lombardozzi. Has to hurry and gets him. 1 down in the third. Ozzie Smith coming to the plate. Reggie Jackson interviewed Kelly the other night, and he asked him, what would you do if Straker gives you another 6? He said, he's coming out. Another look here at the play by Lombardozzi. And, of course, it's Kelly who knows his glove, and Dick Such, the pitching coach.
Well, he averaged about 5 1/3 innings on the year. He gives them 6 shutout innings. You have your bullpen. Berenger 8-1, Reardon with 31 saves, and they all second-guess the move. Incredible.
Well, you'll see some interesting figures that we have. 2-0 the count about Straker. There he is in the regular year, innings 1 through 6. Look at it on the far right. In addition to the ERA, 2.42 the opponents hit. From the 7th on, they hit .420.
Only 52 at bats because he didn't go that far into the 7th, but still revealing enough to show how he weakens after the 7th inning. And Tom Kelly said clearly it was mental as far as he was concerned.
2-0 pitch is hit in the air to right field and deep, and back goes Bernansky and makes the catch. And for Ozzie, that's a real post. He did not homer this season.
And has only 1 home run left-handed in his major league career. That was in the 1985 Championship Series against the Dodgers off Tom Niedenfuhr to win a ball game, game 5 in St. Louis after over 3,100 at-bats without a home run from the left side.
Here's Tommy Herr now in the first inning. Tommy with 2 out, drilled one into the upper deck. And that got the Cardinals off and running, made it 1-0. Twins got 2 in the bottom of the first. Cardinals tied it in the second. Right.
Well, you get an idea why it's so difficult to pitch here. In Busch Stadium, you would literally have come in on Ozzie Smith's ball. This is the kind of park where the pitching coach will tell you, get ahead, change speeds, and use all your pitches. And that's what Straker did to her. The slider got it in the middle of the plate, and he jerked it. Busch Stadium, you could throw Tommy Herr fastballs away. It's such a big ballpark that you know he might get his hits, but he's not going to hurt you with a home run. Here, you change speeds a little bit more, you're more susceptible to long balls.
2 out, bases empty, third inning, a 2-2 tie. Got him. And at the end of 2.5, Cards 2, Twins 2.
Dwayne Eddy salutes the people who work with today's Chevy truck.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
That's today's Chevy truck.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
A sage once said that there is opportunity in every calamity. We believe the economic picture is much better than the recent stock market decline would suggest. Investors willing to assume the risk might now look for opportunities in stocks of good companies. More conservative investors might consider high-quality bonds. A sudden market decline can be the best time to look for value with professional guidance. At Merrill Lynch, we're ready to help.
He's going up to the plate. Now he's walking away from the plate. He's standing around. They're all standing around. Wait, he's adjusting his hat. He's taking mud off of his shoe. Now they're standing around some more. And yes, he spits. Oh my goodness. A woman has jumped out of the crowd. She's thrown her arms around the batter. She's thrown him to the ground. She's thrown her body across. She's ripping his uniform out. She's going crazy.
30-something, Tuesday, following moonlighting.
I love baseball.
Yesterday at the airport, we took a decibel meter out there, and within 100 feet of the runway, it registered 102 decibels. That was yesterday at Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. And here is a live decibel meter inside the Metrodome. And the crowd not really doing very much right now, only in the 90s on the D-meter. But they'll get it up there.
Yeah, don't tell them about it.
Yeah. Bottom of the third inning, Kirby Puckett to lead off. Game tied 2-2. Puckett spins it foul off the end of the bat, and the count is 0-1.
I'll tell you, Al, they have indoor track records. Maybe they should have indoor home run records. A major league record with 21 indoor home runs this season. And he didn't hit them all here. He had 18 here, 3 in the Kingdome in Seattle. Kirby Puckett led the Twins, and I beg your pardon, Ken Herbeck led the Twins with home runs in this ballpark with 20. New indoor record, like track.
Puckett fouls it away, and in a couple of years, you'll have the hybrid ballpark in Toronto, because they'll have the retractable roof where you'll be able to hit them both inside and out, depending on the weather.
Montreal also.
Well, Montreal totally inside right now, completely enclosed, and Houston, of course, with the non-retractable roof. Puckett fouling it away. Still 0-2.
Hurt my feeling. You're not talking about all those indoor parks where pitchers can get batters out in. I mean, just home runs. I mean, be nervous. But what they've done to Puckett, and he's allowed him to do it, and he's gotten a hit. We saw the run-scoring single the last time. They pitched him inside, and they've taken away his power. It's like we wanted to pitch to Mark McGwire, who hit 49 home runs. You want him to single or homer. You want him to single, and that's what they've done to Puckett. Stayed away, not throwing a lot of breaking balls, stayed in on him. And when he does get his hits, they've been singles and that one moving triple.
Inside, and the count 1-2 on Puckett. He'll be followed by Gaetti and Baylor. Bottom of the third, game tied 2-2. Line to center field, base hit. Puckett is 2 for 2.
Well, the book on him is it doesn't matter if it's a strike or a ball when he's hot. You can see the decibel meter. That's all it takes is a couple of hits by Kirby. Take another look at where this ball is. Again, inside, but up. And when Kirby's hot, it doesn't matter if it's off the plate. You do limit the home run, but he gets the base hit.
All good hitters get jammed because all good hitters go into the ball. It's tough to jam a poor hitter.
Gaetti now. Puckett, who had 12 steals during the regular season, held on by Andreessen. Eddie, the MVP of the American League Championship Series. Takes away 1-0.
What a variety of pitches that he's hit. We saw him hit the hanging slider for a home run. Here we saw the triple that McGee made a great effort on a fastball 97 miles per hour from Tudor. Hit it 414 feet. The only pitch he is not really consistently hit in this series is the ball down in the strike zone, and that's where Tudor liked to be.
2-0.
Tudor is not a sinker ball pitcher. He is a low ball pitcher. He was talking about that. He said, everybody thinks I throw a sinker. He said, all I do is hold the ball with the seams, run it away from the right-handers, throw the changeup, and then when I want to come in on him, throw it across the seams and ride it up and in. That's a cross-the-seam grip. Now, that's a grip he can change. We can't see that because he's inside the glove.
In the air to deep right field, and Ford goes back and has room and makes the catch at the edge of the warning track as Puckett retreats. So one long out, one gone in the third inning, and Don Baylor comes to the plate. He singled in the first.
I'll tell you, the impressive thing about this Twins lineup is how they've approached Tudor the second time around. Gladden with the triple down the right field line. Only Puckett, of all the hits, they have 6 hits, only Puckett has pulled the ball. Everybody else has gone the other way, including Baylor as first at bat.
Pops it up. Pena having trouble with it. Tony coming back and makes the catch.
Well, he did not see that ball when it went off the bat. Somehow, he saw it on the way down and made the out.
I think he even lost it partially on the way down. He kind of gave a shrug there, Jim.
I think that's one of the strangest reactions I've ever seen.
Well, it's a little late. I believe he sees it right now, but a little bit earlier, he's just looking, knew it was behind him, but didn't know where.
I think he may have lost it twice.
Yeah.
Going up and somewhere when it comes down. Let's look at it one more time.
Right now there, there he sees it.
Now watch this.
Yeah, it's like he loses it again, sure.
Yeah. It's almost a shrug.
Yeah. Great shot.
That was terrific.
2 down. And Puckett goes. He gets a big break, and there's no throw. Uncontested field.
Well, that's what we were talking about. A lot of times you'll run on a left-hander's first move. Now, if he goes immediately, see, he just goes on the move. And Tudor's picked off 11 runners last year, 5 this year, so he has a good move, but he chose to really go to home plate. Puckett took a gamble, and it worked out.
Brunansky with a count 1-0, and first base open. And John can figure who would rather work through here. Brunansky, the right-handed batter, and he's got Herbeck, the left-hand batter, on deck.
And Herbeck is 0 for 14 against left-handers in postseason play, and hit .225 against them this year. I'm a little surprised they're pitching to Brunansky here.
Well, they're just barely pitching to him.
They may walk him now.
Yeah, 3-0. Tudor with only 2 2/3 innings gone. Already a gross.
Well, this is something with a veteran pitcher. You know he'll pitch around him. If it's a rookie, Niedenfuhrer with first base open with Clark up in the 85.
I wanted to see if you were listening. 100 shy of a gross. And outside, ball 4. Had he thrown it gross, he'd have been back in the clubhouse.
Well, again, this is a situation where he's trying to make a perfect pitch. I don't really think he wants to pitch to him, and it's obvious. He misses by, 2 feet after missing by 3 feet? The only problem with this, if Herbeck, and over the year, as Timmy said, did not hit that well average-wise at the 34 home runs, only 6 against left-handed hitters. But if you make a mistake, it's 5-2.
2 on, 2 out. 2-2 tie. Bottom of the third inning. Herbeck, 1-0.
There are mistakes that are made with the wrong approach. There are mistakes that are made with the right approach. If you take the right approach enough, and Whitey Herzog does that, you'll make fewer mistakes.
Agree with you wholeheartedly over 162 games, but I'll tell you what, tell Tudor that if he hangs a curveball or a fastball here and Herbeck hits it in the upper deck.
Well, you can't have that built in, though. If you got something like that built in, then you're really going to make a mistake. You got to go at it with full conviction, and that's what Herzog and really Tudor does the same thing.
Tudor throwing a lot of pitches, but remember, he's pitching on 3 days rest.
Again, the checkpoint on John Tudor is glove to the knee, and he's there, but again, you got to understand who's up. 34 home runs. Crowd gets louder.
55,000 people.
Yes.
Yep, that's more than a 727. We do. Still in place is the roof, but it's wobbling. Herbeck coming up. Strike.
A curveball, 3-0. I don't believe it. Talk about having confidence in your curveball after 7 straight balls.
Bob Forsch in the Cardinal bullpen. Game tied 2-2, 2 out, 2 on, and 3-1 on Herbeck. High fly ball to left center field, and Tudor's going to work out of it if Coleman can keep his eye on it, and he does. No runs ahead. They leave 2 to the 4th. We go a 2-2 tie.
I'm scrunching in my mouth. It's super good.
In McDonald's, we're tossing salads fresh all day, every day.
The chef salad is super. The ham, the cheese, the turkey.
You name it, it's got it here.
I could run in and get a salad, and kids could get hamburgers.
The chicken salad oriental. It's just like my grandmother would make.
Look at these big pieces of chicken. Look at that.
And it's always been fresh any time of day. It's so fresh. What more could you want?
Tossed fresh all day. Make McDonald's salads.
I'm going to eat a lot of them.
I'm here for some straight talk about the stock market. It's important to everyone. It provides capital that creates jobs to make America grow. Emotions can run high during market turbulence, just when reason should prevail. We are confident in the markets. We've stayed active in them for all investors. America's economy is the strongest in the world with great ability to bounce back. At Merrill Lynch, we're still bullish on America.
Sega challenges you with the ultimate video game, the Sega Master System, with twice as much memory as any other video game. Advanced video technology like scrolling backgrounds, graphics in 64 colors, digital sounds, and light phasers. And you can add to the excitement with sports pads, control sticks, and the first video games ever in 3D.
Sega's the one.
The Sega Master System. The challenge will always be there.
I'm State Farm Agent Stan Griffin. Just talked to 2 of my car insurance policy holders, Bob and Doris Rhodes. They're off on another trip. For so-called retired folks, they sure get around. And they get a real feeling of security, seeing all those State Farm offices just about anywhere they drive. If they should ever run into trouble, they know a State Farm agent is there to help them get back on the road again.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Merrill Lynch. Dave Phillips, the first base umpire, we understand, has confirmed that the ball that Pena caught hit that speaker on the way down. Remember how odd the reaction was with Pena? It must have grazed the speaker, and it grazed it to the point where it probably did not affect very much the trajectory of the ball as Dreesen drills one to right field, and Brunansky will have to play it off the canvas. His throw into second is offline. A double for Dreesen to start the 4th inning.
A very similar pitch that Tommy Herr hit for a home run. It's a high slider. Dreesen to double off the hefty bags in the second game, does it again. And the only thing left is Brunansky playing it so well off the fence, something he's done all year. Strong throw to second, but Dreesen in easily. See Lombardozzi, the cutoff man, getting out of the way. Not a good pitch, but I believe Timmy 1-0. He thought it might fool him, and it didn't.
Willie McGee now, who grounded out in the second inning. First time the Cards have had the leadoff man on, and McGee fouls it away, 0-1. The ruling, by the way, on a ball such as that is that if it hits the speaker, it is in play. And remember Pena's reaction after he had caught the ball. Yeah, how about that? I stayed with it.
Of course, it doesn't take much to get him to smile.
No, you're right. And that's drilled into center field for a base hit. Dreesen, after hesitating, is being held at third. And down to second as the throw goes over the head of the cutoff man, Gaetti, goes McGee. Dreesen on a line shot through the middle was hesitating, and that cost him any chance to score. And then when Puckett misses Gaetti, it allows McGee to go to second. Second and third, and nobody out.
I can understand Dreesen right there. You're watching the line drive. The shortstop's behind you. There's nobody out. No hurry to go home, but really a hurry as far as Kirby Puckett's concerned to hit the cutoff man, and he fails to do that. Willie McGee, very alert base running.
And you talk about a hurry. It is Juan Berenguer going to the bullpen for Minnesota, and he will get some company as well in the person of Dan Schatzeder. This is it for the Twins. There is no tomorrow, so they'll go to the pen early if needed. Pendleton swinging at a change, 0-1.
What's so surprising about that play by Kirby Puckett is you don't see it during the regular season. Nobody out, ball's hit hard. You know that Dreesen, you don't assume that Dreesen's going to stop at third, but you just come up, hit off the cutoff man, keep the double play in order, keep the big inning from being a possibility.
Infield is back, and it's grounded to the right side, and it's a foul ball. So still 0-2. Dreesen going back to third, and McGee, the runner at second, with nobody out in the 4th inning. The game tied 2-2.
It's more understandable for an outfielder to miss a cutoff man with 2 outs than with nobody out. With 2 outs, Dreesen wouldn't have been concerned with the line drive, probably would have scored, and you're taking a legitimate shot at getting him at home. So an outfielder, like the base runner, has to take into account how many outs there are.
0-2 the count on Pendleton. 1-2.
He led the Cardinals in that department, as a matter of fact.
Shatters his bat, or at least splinters it, and he'll get a new one with a count 1-2 strikes.
That's caused from the end of the bat being poured out. You see that happen when a hitter hits the ball off the end of the bat.
And one of the reasons he hit the ball off the end of the bat is what we talked about earlier, the 3 changes to Okendo. This time he started him with a changeup, threw a fastball by him, missed with a slider, came back with a changeup. A little bit difference in the speeds of the pitches. You have them out in front. You don't get the out, but you should get them at least go back and get a new bat. But you've used different speeds, and you set up pretty now. You can throw them just about anything you want, especially hard stuff on the inside part of the plate.
1-2 pitch. A little chopper to the right side. It's going to score a run, and the flip back to Straker. Too late. Everybody safe. So the Cards lead and have runners at first and third and nobody out.
We talked about the veteran John Tudor not pitching that well, and the rookie Les Straker makes a rookie mistake, something that shouldn't happen. He should go directly to first. He doesn't. Hesitates, and Pendleton with the rib still beats him. Very simple, something you work on every day in spring training.
Yeah, there are two ways the pitcher covers the bag, and one way is to act like a first baseman, and that should have been the time that Straker gets to the bag and then stretches even like a first baseman.
What you try to do, you try to gauge how fast the runner is, and when you do, and Pendleton can run, you get to first base as quickly as you can. Take the most direct route.
Tom Kelly now goes to the mound. The lefty Schatzeder, the righty Berenguer. It scored as an infield single for Pendleton. And so the Twins, after squandering opportunities in the second and in the third, and with the game tied, see the Cardinals get a run here in the third inning to take the lead and the makings of a big inning, and he's going to go to the bullpen. And the call goes out for Dan Schatzeder, the lefty, to come in the fourth inning of Game 6. The Cards are ahead.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. It's the rhythm of the moon. It's the pulse on the street. Starlight night and neon light.
There's a hot new look on the street, a brand new beat. It's the new 1988 Chevy Cavalier.
The heartbeat of America. Like today's Chevrolet.
Every day, over 30 million AT&T calls go through on the first try. Thanks to a remarkably intelligent network that forecasts traffic, anticipates tie-ups, and determines the quickest way around them. All in less time than it takes to dial. The AT&T network, you can call it the mastermind of long distance.
Glad I got through.
We're reaching further to bring your world closer. AT&T, the right choice.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond what we have to do. Caring for what's special to you.
Only your Prudential representative goes above and beyond with a pre-review of your auto insurance.
We go above and beyond like you do. Taking care to protect what's important to you. So rock the Prudential above and beyond.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
Both of these stop the symptoms of a cold. But 12-hour contact works twice as long as Actifed tablets. So if you're sneezing, congested, or have a runny nose, which would you rather take? Until there's a cure, there's contact.
Last time the Cards were in the World Series, in Game 6, they had a 1-0 lead in the 9th inning. And then this grounder starting the inning. Orta called safe by Don Denkinger on the call at first base. The ensuing argument with Whitey Herzog to no avail, of course. That game ended with Dane Orge singling the drive in 2 to win the game, square the series, and that World Series ended with Brett Saberhagen throwing a shutout in Game 7 and Kansas City winning the series. But that's history, and now the present with the Cardinals leading and Jim Lindemann batting for Kurt Ford with Schatzeder working. 3-2, Cardinals on top, still nobody out in the inning with McGee at third and Pendleton at first. And Jim Lindemann with Ford on the bench now. The left-hand batter seated as Schatzeder comes in to face Lindemann.
The situation, if you're Tom Kelly, you're trying to cut your losses. Double play man at the plate. If you can induce him to hit a ground ball at somebody, you'll give up the run to get out of the inning and stay away from a real big inning. A lot of time to go. Schatzeder pitched in both Game 4 and 5. Did not have a very good year. The record belies really how poorly he pitched. He said he doesn't really know why, but 64 hits in only 43 innings.
One and two.
It's a funny situation for a double play ball. Most double play balls are balls that are away. Lindemann's weakness, however, is inside.
1-2 pitch to Lindemann. Off the hands and a little pop-up, and Gaetti is there with Gagne, and it's Gaetti making the catch, and the runners hold as Gary runs the ball back into the infield. A big out. A real big out.
And where did he go? Right where Jim said. About belt high on, look, about 4 or 5 inches off the plate. Of course, that's the key to getting ahead. If you get ahead, you have an option. McGee tags. Gaetti knows he's going to catch it. And then runs it back into the infield.
So now Oquendo comes up. Remember, Oquendo, a switch hitter. He hit 277 right-handed. He hit 294 left-handed. One little oddity, though, despite fewer at-bats right-handed, he hit into 4 double plays from this side and only 2 the other way. And the infield at double play depth. And there's always the possibility of the squeeze.
If you're the runner at third base on the squeeze play, you don't want to break too soon. If you break too soon, you give it away, and the pitcher and catcher do one of 2 things. They either pitch out or knock the hitter down, depending on which your philosophy is. So it's very important. Eddie Stanky used to say that if you're the runner on third squeeze situation and it's on, take 1 step back before that'll prevent you from leaving too soon.
Oquendo takes a strike. Another thing about Oquendo, we mentioned he's prone to hitting the more double plays this way, but on the other side of that same coin, he hit 4 sacrifice flies this year, all of them right-handed.
And the 2 home runs are from the right side, so the chance of hitting a fly ball are better, and he's looking for a pitch up in the strike zone.
And he hits a high fly ball to right field, and McGee tags. Brunansky on the run makes the catch, and Brunansky with an off-balance throw way off the mark, and the Cardinals get another run, and down to second goes Pendleton. So Oquendo, who hit all 4 of his sac flies right-handed, hits 1 here, and the Cardinals are on top by 2. And a tough play for Brunansky because he's going the other way. It would have been a much easier play for a left-handed thrower.
Oh, with 2 out, well, 2 outs, he's going to catch that ball because it's fair, but right now he does not know. I mean, he has to know that he doesn't have a play, and by trying to desperately throw the runner out, he allows another runner to go into scoring position, Terry Pendleton, and just gives the Cardinals another chance to add a run.
You remember Game 3 of the American League Championship Series? Brunansky had a similar play, but he was set down the right field line, and Tony Kubek and Bob Costas properly alluded to the fact that Brunansky could have been in foul territory. However, the replay did show that he was in fair territory.
Tony Pena now looks at a strike on the outer half, 0-1. 4-2 St. Louis in the 4th inning. 2 down. Pendleton at second. Schatzeder with the Phillies and the Expos and the Giants, and that's why a lot of the Cardinals have experience having faced him.
Typical smile. It appears that he is really seeing the ball so much better than he did during the season. Take a look for yourself. notorious bad ball hitter. That ball's pretty much in the middle of the plate, but a little bit out of the strike zone. And if he's going to hit a home run, I'm not sure if it's going to be on that ball. I would think he'd like the ball down better, but the ball he's going to drive to right field, and he's done it all the time, has been that ball out over the plate.
Going to third on a pitch inside, and the throw not in time. Terry Pendleton. Terry Pendleton, he of the pulled muscle, legs out a hit, steals a base, and has already scored a run.
The last time he was on second base, the count 3-2, Oquendo the batter, and he was running on that play. So I really think he's trying to deliver a message to Whitey Herzog. If this game goes to 7, he's starting tomorrow. Maybe.
2-2 missing, and Pena goes to first. The board had it 2-2. Pena is now being called back. He thought it was ball 4. It's only ball 3. And he enjoys a laugh with Terry Taylor. Do you know the other night, do you remember when Pena looked like he was hurt in Game 5? He was at first base, he reached first base, and he reached for his hamstring, and he was flexing his foot. He wasn't hurt at all. He was trying to decoy the Twins into thinking he was hurt. He really wanted to steal on the next pitch. What he decoyed was Whitey. Whitey took him out for a pinch runner.
Lance Johnson, who went in and stole second.
How great was that? Foul away again, 3-2. I've never heard of that happening before.
Nor have I.
Three and two to count. 2 down. Check swing, ball 4. No swing, says Dave Phillips. So the Cardinals get Coleman to the plate. Runners at first and third, 2 down, and Vince 0 for 2.
Well, another run on third base. You don't want to give him a pitch that you've already seen that he had good swings at, and that's the fastball, so you hook him. But it turns out to be ball 4.
Very close. I think Dave Phillips made the right call. He called it quickly. And that way there's no argument. Right or wrong, at least you're quick about it.
Coleman hitting right-handed for the first time today. He hit .268 right-handed this year. And there he is in postseason this year. And what a swing.
Both he and Ozzie Smith are hitless right-handed in the World Series.
1-1.
That's what you have to do when you're trailing. Sometimes you have to take that gamble. Who do you want to face? And the numbers support what Dan Chester is doing.
Strike 2, 1-2.
It's a good way to have Coleman not leading off the next inning if you get him out.
2 on, 2 out, 4-2 Cardinals, 4th inning. Pendleton at third. Pena at first. Pena goes, and it's fouled away.
I know what you're thinking. It was suggested to me this past summer that with Vince Coleman, one of the ways to stop him from running in the National League, of course, there's no DH, is that with 2 outs and nobody on, walk the pitcher, pitch to Coleman, clog up the bases, thereby never allowing him to steal second base.
Suggested to you by whom?
By more than one person.
Pena goes again, and Coleman reaches for it, fouls it back.
None of whom I agree with.
Well, that's one of the great lines by the columnist Jim Murray back in 1966. We went out to L.A. and they said, as long as you keep the Dodgers off the base, especially Maury Wills, you can win. So McNally walked the bases loaded, and that's what Jim Maury said. He stopped their running attack cold. He walked the bases loaded. Brought in Drabowski. He struck out 11 in 5 2/3 inning, and we were off and running.
Pendleton at third. And Pena, who's been off and running on the last 2 pitches at first. 1-2 to Coleman. High drive to center field. Puckett going all the way back to the track and makes the count. But they get 2 through the Cards to lead by 2 after 3 1/2.
The outlook for financial markets is encouraging. Interest rates are now declining, and the fear of significantly higher inflation seems unwarranted. Government officials appear ready to achieve stability in the dollar. This is good news. And the message from the financial markets to policymakers is clear. Address the budget and trade deficits. At Merrill Lynch, we are confident, indeed optimistic, about the resiliency of the financial markets and the environment ahead for investors.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery, sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Guess that shop. Here's your poodle. Oh.
Alex.
When you bite Dentyne, that snappy flavor bites you back. And that tingle freshens your breath. Dentyne, the gum that bites you back.
I've got a man with a slow hand. He's got a face that I love to touch.
Chic Super 2 Plus blades with a comfort strip for the easy touch.
When information is in the hands of just a few, you're at their mercy. You play by their rules. But we think people should be in control, not machines. So at AT&T, we're working to combine computers and communications so you can get the right information to the right people at the right time. As easy as using the telephone. AT&T, the right choice.
I asked Whitey Herzog before the game if he'd be inclined to remove Tudor earlier today because he was working on 3 days rest.
No, Al. Actually, he's worked so many times in his life with 3 days rest. In '85, I think his record was 18-1 on 3 days rest, and going into the 7th game of the World Series. And the thing with John is sometimes he has a lot better control coming back with 3 days. I would probably go get him today if he got up to around 100 pitches in the 7th inning, and I had Don Baylor or somebody coming up there. I'd probably go to Worrell. If it was Herbeck, I'd probably go to Daly and go with my power pitchers. But I'm just shooting dice a little bit. I feel that if they win this ball game today, and I say Tudor for the 7th game, that would be very tough for us to beat them. I think the momentum would switch. They would feel they definitely got an advantage. So I'm trying to take advantage of what we got going for us by pitching Tudor today.
And so far, Tudor has given him the lead, though he's been very shaky through 3, and the Twins have squandered a couple of golden opportunities to score. 4-2 St. Louis, bottom of the 4th inning. Laudner, Lombardozzi, and Gladden. And Jim Lindemann stays in the game in right field for St. Louis. High fly ball to center. McGee there looking up, and remember, nothing's routine. 1 away. Steve Lombardozzi is the batter. A reminder, those of you on the west coast of the Pacific time zone coming up following the World Series, the California Golden Bears and the UCLA Bruins. Lombardozzi singled in the 2nd inning.
I really don't buy what Whitey Herzog said. I believe Tudor is a control pitcher, but as Frank Viola said, he said it's easy to pitch every 4th day with only 3 days rest if you've been doing it all year. And of course, if this does go to 7 games, we will see Viola for the 2nd time with only 3 days rest. Something you did last year.
I guess you could relate that to your career, Jim. You told us the other day that you never for the most part, worked with 4 days rest. You were always in a 4-man rotation.
But we did it all during the season, so it didn't really matter. I saw Mike Cuellar pitch with 2 days rest, but he had done it a couple of times.
2 balls, no strikes the count. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 4th inning. Cards leading 4-2. That's grounded and hits third base. It's a fair ball. Coleman will chase it down, and Lombardozzi has a double.
Once again, control is so important. He gets the ball inside, and Lombardozzi, second hit, wraps it down the line. Picks off the bag, and Coleman still's not going to get to it. Lombardozzi with pretty good speed. They've had more pitches to hit tonight than they did in 7 innings. Talking about good pitches off Tudor, mainly because he's just not that sharp. And they've adjusted, as you said, Tim.
Dan Gladden now with the infield outside of Oquendo playing back. And he hits it in the air to deep left center field. Coleman and McGee converge, and McGee makes the play. They avoid the collision, and Lombardozzi has to remain at second. And that is really tough with the ceiling and the noise, and knowing you get the 2 speedsters on a collision course.
I'll tell you, you get the feeling that if the Cardinals lose this game, faulty outfield play could have something to do with it. The Herbeck ball back in the 2nd inning, the error on McGee, and now Coleman and McGee almost colliding, avoiding serious injury.
Well, getting back to what I said, they cannot look at each other, because if they do, you lose the ball here, and that's different. An outfielder will tell you, once you see the ball, they know where it's going to come down. They look at each other to see if somebody's going to run them off. That's not the case here.
That ball almost rolled into Coleman's glove. It was that close. Gagne swinging and missing, 0-1.
You're also making that point, Jim, that you got to play the outfield differently in this ballpark, and it's tough to change old habits.
Well, that's why they say they didn't think that the background would bother them, the lights would bother them, but they did think the style of the way you play the fly ball would, and it's bothered everybody that's come in here.
2 out, Lombardozzi at second. In the 4th. Chased it. 0-2.
I mean, in all fairness to the other 12 teams that do play in the American League, it's a very unfair advantage to have a white roof that they can't become accustomed to. And by the time they do, they've already left. And all you have to do is paint not the roof, but the panels up there. It certainly would take away a lot of the advantage to the Twins, which I'm sure would make them very unhappy, but would make the game of baseball a lot fairer.
Still 0-2. Remember we showed you this earlier, this look at Rick Stelmazek hitting a fungo, and how difficult it is to see the ball coming out of the roof.
You watch it, you see it going up for a while. And now where is it?
Little speck. And this is grounded down and short and scooped up by Smith, and he takes care of Gagne. So the Twins leave another in the 4th, 4-2 St. Louis, and we'll be back after this word from your local station.
ABC Sports presents an international event as 2 teams square off in an historic basketball meeting. The Soviet national team takes the court as they face their first challenge ever by an NBA squad. Their opponent, the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the McDonald's Basketball Open live Sunday on ABC Sports.
While some still believe you can't take it with you, those who've driven the new Mitsubishi wagon know just the opposite to be true. Now not only can you take it with you, but you can do so with a remarkable combination of style, spacious comfort, and versatility. The new Mitsubishi wagon, patiently crafted so you can take it all with you. Or better yet, so you can leave it all behind. Mitsubishi. Suddenly, the obvious choice.
It has helped solve water problems for entire cities.
Time to brush your teeth, kiddo. Okay, Mom.
It is a worldwide leader in fluid technology.
Brian, I'm blushing.
It has created the world's largest submersible pumping station with the capacity to handle 370 million gallons per day. 1 gallon at a time.
Brian!
It is the Fluid Technology Corporation of ITT. A new ITT, building businesses into leaders.
Wow, Jay, some guys are sure in a hurry to get to the airport.
Guess he doesn't know about Hertz' new instant return. With Hertz, you don't have to rush to return your car. Because now Hertz gives you your receipt right at your car.
So you have everything you need to do your expense report.
I'll have your receipt right away.
It's too bad he didn't know about Hertz instant return.
Now at Hertz, you can rent a T-Bird for just $39.90 a day, or a Lincoln Town Car for just $44.90.
Slime Time starts Thursday at 7:30 only on 7.
And between innings, Terry Pendleton trying to convince Whitey he's just fine, and he looks to be fine on the base pass. You never know the difference, the way Pendleton has run today. So we go to the 5th. Al Michaels along with Jim Palmer and Tim McCarver. Smith the batter, and the count 1-0. 4-2 St. Louis. Smith, Herr, and Dreesen with Schatzeder working. 1-1. The Twins winning the first 2 at home and then losing 3 in St. Louis. And the Cardinals trying to do what they did to the Dodgers after they lost the first 2 in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Laudner got a late start on this one and comes back and runs out of room. Schatzeder, by the way, is the only pitcher, and this is quite a distinction. Ozzie Smith, who has very few home runs in his big league career, has hit 2 of them off Schatzeder.
I believe only 6 lifetime. But it's very important for Schatzeder to pitch well, very much what he did in the 4th game when they came back from that 5-0 deficit. And he matches up so well with the Cardinals' running attack.
2-2 the count.
They're not going to run on him, but there is not a right-hander in the Twins bullpen that they will not run on if they get on base. The appropriate runners, of course.
And they've got Berenguer and Reardon, still the men to come if needed. 2-2 the count.
Well, it's fortunate Tom Kelly also has Schatzeder pitching under American League rules because you don't have to pinch hit for him.
Because he's such a good hitter, you may not do it anyway.
Not have to anyway. That's right.
Exactly.
253 lifetime.
Tom Kelly, very much the symbol of this copacetic ball club. 3-2 the count. Kelly, I think more than almost any other manager today, or at least as much, symbolizes the whole mood and the feeling of his ball club. Smith fouls it away. I know I was talking with Peter Gammons of Sports Illustrated and some of the media people who've covered series for years and years, and talking about the Twins as a group. And I know it sounds trite, but a real good bunch of guys, nice bunch of guys, easy to deal with, mild and mellow of sorts as Ozzie Smith draws the walk and Tommy Herr comes to the plate. And yet the other day, after the Twins start the World Series by winning the first 2 games here, we pick up the Minneapolis Star-Tribune on Monday. The subhead says, winning angry. The headline says, snarling, ball-pounding Twins win. Angry? Snarling? Who, the headline writer? The managing editor?
Certainly doesn't fit the players.
Boy.
I think what it did fit was the 10 and 8 runs they put on the board. That's about it, though.
Yeah, but it makes it seem as if this is a team of oafs and louts. Tommy Herr, 0-1 the count. Smith at first and nobody out. 5th inning. 4-2 Cardinals. That's grounded foul outside third. And the count 0-2. the Metrodome in Minneapolis. A little quieter at the moment. And our decibel meter, it's a very placid 90. Not angry or snarling at the moment. 0-2 pitch is hit foul, out of play.
Tell you, Tommy Herr certainly picked a good time to hit his first home run left-handed this year. Think about the last 3 postseason home runs for the Cardinals. Oquendo hits his 3rd lifetime home run. Tom Lawless hits his 2nd career home run. And Tommy Herr hits his 1st left-handed home run of the year. And only his 3rd of the year. He had 2 right-handed earlier. So they may not hit a lot of home runs, but they certainly surprise you when they do.
Smith goes, gets a good jump, and Herr hits it foul, so Ozzie comes back.
Boy, speed, and it's so important. You could start a guy like Smith, 43 stolen bases on the year, 2 in the playoffs. You have a contact hitter, so even with nobody out, kind of a gutsy play where you have a guy that may strike out even though he's a contact hitter, and you take you out of the inning, you have a guy that can also steal. If it was a hit and run, I believe it was a run and swing if it's a strike, and he did.
Right. Sometimes a base runner like that will guess curveball too with the pitcher, and that certainly was a curveball.
And that's grounded down to Gagne, and he has one play first base and gets the out there, and Ozzie Smith advances. So with 1 down, Smith at 2nd, and Danny Dreesen will come to the plate, having grounded out and doubled.
It's almost like a sacrifice. You start Smith, Herr gets his bat on the ball. Gagne only has 1 play, makes a nice play off his front foot, but you got a guy in scoring position to add to your lead, which is already 4-2.
Now Pagnazzi, Tom Pagnazzi, the rookie, who can catch, and in the World Series DH, and that's what they did in Game 1. The right-hand batting Pagnazzi will come up here to bat for the left-hand hitting Dreesen. Now the one thing about Herzog, as he tries to take advantage here, he's already got Ford out of the game, and now he's got Dreesen out of the game, and so if the Twins could catch up, you'd then be in a situation where Whitey would certainly be limited because the Twins would go to the right-handers, either Berenguer or Reardon. But Whitey's got to try to get the runs when he can, and he's opted to go with Pagnazzi here with 1 out and Smith at 2nd base.
All the changes he makes, though, he knows that they don't have any more left-handers, so he can put Morris in for defense if he wanted to. I mean, he can make Lindemann at first, and he knows he's not going to get burnt down the road.
The one problem you have here is you don't want to use 2 players. Pagnazzi may be the catcher, Pena to first, Lindemann staying in right. Otherwise, you may have to use 2 players here by having Pagnazzi pinch hit because Dreesen's out of there. Pagnazzi, to my knowledge, has no major league experience as a first baseman, but is a catcher. Pena has experience as a first baseman and has been working out at first base in postseason. So we'll see.
High in the air to Brunansky. Tom fades on it, has room, makes the catch. Smith tags at 2nd and moves into 3rd as the throw is cut off by Lombardozzi. So 2 down now. Pagnozzi flying to Brunansky, and Willie McGee will come up right-handed.
All of those are plausible moves, but boy, do you hurt your club defensively.
Yeah,
you really weaken yourself in 3 positions.
Yeah, we really don't know what what Whitey is going to do as far as Pena is concerned, but that would be the key. If you ever take your starting catcher out of there, you're really weakening yourself defensively, especially if your pitcher's doing well. And Tudor is doing well with the stuff he has.
And McGee hits one into right field for a base hit to score another run as Ozzie touches the plate, and the Cardinals now lead by a score of 5-2. So the walk to Smith comes back to hurt Schatziner, and St. Louis leads by 3.
And such smart hitting. He sat on deck, on the bench, saw the curveballs, looks for one, hits it to right field, doesn't try to pull it. He saw Tommy Herr do that. He saw Pagnozzi fly out to right field on a curveball, saw the pattern of Schatzeder, and then just spanked it to right. I mean, not only did he hit well, he was smart enough to look for the pitch that he's been throwing.
Now here's Pendleton batting lefty against lefty. He wants to keep Herzog Pendleton in the game, so Terry cannot hit right-handed. We know that. He wants to keep him in the game. Think about down the line. He'll waste this at-bat here if he has to keep him available for Reardon or Berenguer. So he sends him up lefty against lefty. And you wonder the last time that Pendleton faced a lefty left-handed.
Probably in Little League ball, or something like that.
I would think. 1-1. Certainly, I can't imagine this having happened in the majors or even the minors unless there was some extraordinary circumstance. In any event, it's something that Terry has not seen very often. 2-1. And in the bullpen, Berenguer gets up again for Minnesota. Second time Juan has been warming up. That's a strike and the count 2-2.
Saw Pendleton shake his head. He said, I don't know if he was shaking his head that it wasn't a strike, or he said, I wish I could turn around. I mean, come on. No, I don't want to hit this side.
McGee goes and Pendleton strikes out. But in the inning, the Cardinals get an insurance run and lead 5-2 after 4.5.
Success Stories, brought to you by Citicorp.
Dodgers general manager Branch Rickey knew that it would take someone of extraordinary character to survive the pressure of becoming the first black man to play in the major leagues. Such a man was Jackie Robinson. Having established himself as a superior athlete at UCLA, Robinson's fiery play as a Dodger helped him succeed in leading his team in a 6 World Series in his 10-year career, and in opening doors of opportunity to talented black athletes for generations to come.
At Citicorp, we believe it takes people with vision to help people with dreams. So many of our people come from fields beyond banking. Untypical bankers, untypical thinking has made us America's largest financial services company. As Citicorp and Citibank, we're already helping 1 in 5 American families. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
It's the rhythm of the road. It's the pulse on the street. Pulse on the street. City and town, a magic sound.
If you want the adventure of it all, put yourself in today's Chevy S10 Blazer and listen to your heartbeat.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
That's today's Chevy truck.
Even though you faithfully pay your premiums, why do some insurance companies make you feel so guilty?
I had an accident.
You have an estimate, 2 estimates, 3 estimates.
And a note from your mother. My mother?
Leave it to the good hands, people.
In most cases, Allstate will give you a settlement on the spot without 3 estimates or a note from your mother.
How do we know it's her writing?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
World Series memory, R. Jackson, number 44 in 1977. And you'll recall this, one of 3 home runs, leading the Yankees to the world title. And our man Red Giroux is here, and we'll be visiting with Reggie on our after the game portion. John Morris comes into to play right field. Jim Lindemann now playing first base. And with Morris now in the game, every eligible player has gotten into the World Series. He's the 48th. Morris in right, bottom of the 5th inning, and Puckett starts things with a base hit into center field. He's 3 for 3.
Well, Rick Rennick, the Hitting instructor, third base coach said when it gets hot, it gets hot. Now look where this ball is. It's down, it's away, and it's a line drive into center. And 3 for 3. So you make a good pitch, and didn't turn out too good for John Tudor.
As a matter of fact, he's hit 3 good pitches, 2 change-ups away, and the fastball at the letters tight.
Gary Gaetti. Kirby had 4 hits in the first 5 games. He's got 3 today. John Tudor with a 3-run lead. Gets it on the black of the plate on the outside 0-1. Juan Berenguer coming in from the pen. Mike coming in the 6th. Mike. Bucket at first. Nobody out. And it's 1-1.
The Twins have their players in the game. They're trying to get the crowd back into the game. Because the crowd here can obviously be so effective when they gear it up. They haven't really yet since the 2nd inning.
Gaetti, as you saw, 2 for 11 career and 0 for 5 in the series against Tudor. And he hits this one down into the left field corner for extra bases. Coleman has it skipped away, and then he falls down. Puckett will come in to score on a double. It's 5-3.
Good pitch to hit middle of the plate, and Gaetti, as we said, 31 home runs. Likes to get his arms extended and does. You see Vince Coleman fall, so Puckett's going to score. But to me, the important thing about this play, it's a sure double. Coleman doesn't overreact. He does not throw behind the runner and allow Gaetti to go to third base.
Mike Rourke goes to the mound, and Rick Horton throws in the bullpen. Also Bob Forshoff as well, the right-hander.
I believe he's talking about the bullpen to get into action right there. Didn't take long. John is struggling with his control, and the result is some line drives.
Force the righty, Horton the lefty. And then when they get deeper into the game, it's Staley and Worrell, as you know. Fifth inning, 5-3 Cards. Baylor the tying run at the plate with Gaetti at second. To deep left field, and that one is gone. Forget the decibel meter. Get the Richter scale.
Don Baylor's first home run as a Twin. As that graphic showed you, the last one a grand slammer, and Boston off Steve Carlton. Not quite as big as this one. A straight change-up, too much of the plate.
No doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
332nd lifetime.
Horton in, Tudor out.
In places beyond the reach of other overnight delivery companies, you'll find UPS. Because unlike the competition, only UPS Next Day Air delivers overnight to every single address coast to coast. And because we're so efficient, we can do it for up to half what other companies charge. Whether the place is hard to reach or easy to reach. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road. And for some, that's a comforting thought.
Take me home. Goodyear, take me home. Never matters how far I go. Goodyear, take me home.
Are you paying too much or your rates too high? Leave it to the good hands, people. Does your insurance bill make you want to cry?
If you're not happy with your insurance bill, join the more than 6 million families who enjoy solid Allstate homeowners protection at sensible Allstate rates.
So shake those blues and save some dough. Give us a call because our rates are low. Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Good night, Tim. We'll be back late.
Ah, the virtues of milk.
Party!
Milk has thiamine to help boost your energy level, protein to assist muscle development, riboflavin for agility.
Get back!
And milk has vitamin B complex for a stable nervous system.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. You're home early.
Milk, it does a body good.
Nothing like reversing the momentum by having a bad inning when your team has just scored a run to go ahead 5-2, and that's what John was really able to do, but that's what he did. And Ricky Horton's asked to put a finger in the dike.
Go ahead run at first base. Brunansky, nobody out in the bottom of the fifth inning. To center field to a deep McGee, but he comes in and makes the play. One gone, and Laudner, the batter, as Brunansky retreats. The last huge home run that Baylor hit would be a year ago in the American League Championship Series with the Angels leading 3-1 and leading in the fifth game 5-2 at Anaheim. You'll recall that Baylor came up and hit a 2-run homer to make it 5-4, and then with 2 out and 2 strikes, it was Dave Henderson hitting the home run. Red Sox went on to win the game and the next 2 and the pennant. 0-1 to count on Laudner.
And very similar that it was a high curveball off width that he went out off the plate and yanked it into the left field stands. This was a change that maybe not off the plate, but it's a pitch that a normal hitter may single on. Baylor, as we've said, well over 300 home runs, whacked it into the left field seats to tie up this game.
Runner goes, and it's a comebacker to Horton, and he looks at second, then goes to first for the out. 2 down. And it will bring up Lombardozzi. Tudor's reaction following Baylor's home run. Baylor. Here's Lombardozzi. Crowd trying to coax in the go-ahead run.
hardest coaxing I've ever heard.
So loud that when Kenny Kaiser, who umpired behind the plate in the fourth game, said when he wants to talk to a catcher, he has to yell. Tom Kelly said that you have to yell to talk to somebody next to you on the bench. Now you know why we're yelling. 2-0. This is not the best matchup if you're Whitey Herzog and you're bringing in Horton following Tudor. You'd like to have Forrest or a right-hander come in. That's a different contrast as far as styles. Except Forrest struggled so much back in that fourth game that you wonder he went with Horton because of the confidence level.
Strike, and it's 2-1 on Lombardozzi.
Well, to repeat what we said the other night, left-handers are more effective against right-handed hitters than right-handed pitchers are against left-handed hitters. So with the left-handed, you don't really lose a lot. Both Bernansky and Gaetti, for instance, hit right-handed pitching better than left-handed.
Three and one with Gladden on deck. Gladden, the top of the order. Watching Lombardozzi, the number 9 hitter. 2 down, Bernansky to his lead at second. Line drive, base hit into center field. Here comes McGee. Here comes Bernansky. Here comes the throw. He's safe.
Lombardozzi in the series, or tonight, I beg your pardon, batting .273. That should send him over 300, but more importantly, it gives the Twins the first lead they've had in 2 games, and the momentum of Bernansky actually went through the left leg of Pena. Tony reaching to his right, that took the weight off of his left leg. Consequently, that gave Bernansky, see the lean to the right? That takes the weight off the left leg, and Bernansky is safe. Pena actually should be out in front of the plate as opposed to on the plate. If you're going to block the plate, you can't be on it. You got to be out in front of it. Hard slide by Bernansky.
Herzog put up a mild protest. Terry Tatum made the call. Slice foul, 0-2. Take another look now.
Lombardozzi went up with Reniak, batting coach in Boston, hitting instruction. McGee does not make a good throw. You can see Tony have to go to his right, as Timmy said. When he gets back, Bernansky's already across the plate.
See, actually, Tony set up properly, expecting the throw slightly to the left of home plate, and then the throw was slightly to the right of home plate, and that's why Bernansky scored.
1-2 on Gladden.
Catchers are trained to keep the left leg, the weight on the left leg. It's the toughest play on a throw from right field. The next toughest play is on the throw from center because the runner comes in blindly. The easiest play is on the throw coming from left field.
Time called. 6-5 Minnesota with 4 here in the 5th. Lombardozzi at first, 2 down, 1-2 on Gladden. Soft little looper to Smith, and that's that. But 8 men come to the plate. They get 4. The place erupts at 6-5 Twins.
out here in the 7th inning, and Roger Maris is the batter against McMahon. That's the first hit off McMahon, the second hit for Flood in the game. Maris has struck out and walked twice and scored a run. He has hitting room through the right side.
A half swing and a pop fly might drop for a base hit. It does. An extra base hit. Flood heads for third. Maris for
second, and he has a pop fly double with nobody out. McMahon will work off the pull. Trying for the play at the plate on Flood. The event of a ground ball.
Season after season, the people who brew Budweiser have been proud to be part of America's national pastime with you.
Outfield deep to the left for Cepeda. The windup by McMahon. Swung on, and there's the drive to left field. It might be gone.
I'm here for some straight talk about the stock market. It's important to everyone. It provides capital that creates jobs to make America grow. Emotions can run high during market turbulence, just when reason should prevail. We are confident in the markets. We've stayed active in them for all investors. America's economy is the strongest in the world with great ability to bounce back. At Merrill Lynch, we're still bullish on America.
And let's tackle Tim Daniels first for the score.
There's only one camera system you can buy that lets you hold the picture in your hand while you still hold the feeling in your heart. The Polaroid Spectra system.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands at Allstate.
Pena sets up properly, but watch what the throw does to him. It takes him out of his position to the right of home plate, and that allows Brunansky to bull through that left leg. Had he had the weight on the left leg, that wouldn't have happened. You ward him off.
Another view, and you can see Terry Tater right there, the umpire, to make the call. Brunansky gets his knee as Pena tags him. I think that's what Whitey came out and argued about. Did he get to the plate before he tagged him? Tater said yes. End of story.
Now, here's Berenguer into work with Lindemann batting. The Cardinal lineup right now, recall with the two switches. Lindemann is in the 7 spot. Morris is in the game. He's in the 4 spot, but Berenguer working. They've already spent Ford, and they've already spent Dreesen, and they've already spent Pagnozzi from the bench.
And that is the key as far as I'm concerned. And the Cardinals, Juan Berenguer pitching well. He's come in, he throws well over 90 miles per hour, but they saw him pitch last year with San Francisco. They all know he throws 90 miles per hour, but they all say you'll get a good fastball to hit every time. He did not get his breaking ball over the other night.
Lindemann hits a ground ball to second. Bob Bardozzi throws him out.
So he comes in with 2 sliders and then a forkball. And this is not the Berenguer that we saw the other night with the 1-0 lead in the 3rd ball game that came in and gave up 3 runs, almost all on high breaking balls or fastballs when he got behind in the count.
Oquendo now. What Kelly is thinking is, hey, Juan, get me to the 8th. Get me to the 8th inning.
Well, he got the tune-up with Jeff Reardon, their stopper, in Game 5. Even though they were behind, he pitched very well as he did all year, at least the last 3 quarters of the year after struggling early. So you're right, that's what he needs, a couple of innings.
2-0.
Well, that's that high strike you just do not get with a National League umpire. Terry Tater down on 1 knee. Used to be a strike, not anymore.
2-1.
You don't get it from the American League umpire that much anymore either.
Occasionally, though, but not very often. You're right.
That strike zone has really dropped. And there should be consistency between the 2 leagues.
And there is. They went from that outside protector to the inside.
2-2.
And there's the 2-1 forkball. So with Berenguer, as we said, you got to show the hitter a difference in speeds of pitches and types of pitches, and he's done that to the first 2 batters so far.
Ooh, 3-2.
His weakness is wildness. Timmy, you had that stat where, he threw 113 pitches in 3 2/3 innings.
Right.
And didn't lose or win. Got a no decision up in Boston.
Only a 6-5 game.
That's grounded down to short on a fork ball. And there are 2 down, 2 away here in the 6th inning. Pena coming up.
What a view from behind the plate. A 3-2 fork ball. You can see it plummet, tumble. Okenda hits the top half of it. Ground ball to shortstop.
I just figured out a way to make $1 million. We'll go out and get the exclusive on a throat lozenge concession in Minneapolis. Whew. This crowd is unbelievable. Pena with 2 out takes the strike.
Well, it's such an obvious difference when you play in your home park. You get down 5-2 and you're in St. Louis. There's no noise. You're down 5-2 here. At least you have somebody cheering, giving you a little bit of momentum, so to speak. Seemed to work.
1-1 on Pena. Two out, 6th inning, 6-5 Twins. And that's grounded toward the middle. Good stop by Gagne. Guns him down. And at the end of 5.5 in Game 6, it's Minnesota 6, St. Louis 5.
IBM presents You Make the Call. With a runner on first and 1 out, a batter hits what appears to be a routine double play ball. But the runner from first goes out of his way to upend the fielder. Can he do this? You make the call.
And tied into our IBM mid-range computer, you can check calendars, get phone lists, even send instant memos.
Okay, let's see if anyone's awake out there. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Huh? I'll need specifics. What size woodchuck? What type wood? I got some ideas on this woodchuck thing. Let's do lunch.
Why wasn't I asked to head up Project Woodchuck?
It works.
IBM Office Systems, electronic mail, and a whole lot more.
A runner cannot go out of his way to break up a double play. If he does, not only is he out, but the batter is too. So if you said the runner couldn't do that, then you made the right call.
The house is paid up. Kids are out of college. Things are fantastic.
So what's the problem?
Things are not so fantastic. A financial genius, I'm not.
Very few of us are. We can help. At New York Life, we have the resources to make the most of your resources. We offer a range of financial opportunities, including mutual funds, annuities, and limited partnerships. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Get the most out of life with New York Life.
Mr. Belvedere's back on primetime.
Hey, guys. Who's a dummy?
I was just about to ask the same question.
And Brian Keith returns to television.
Daughter certainly is outgoing. Mind if I take a crack at her?
He's one professor who makes history come alive.
All right. Great, yes.
Thomas Jefferson, Magic Johnson, and introducing Paul Provenza. The Pursuit of Happiness premieres Friday following the return of Mr. Belvedere.
You know, we're only in the 6th inning here, but assume the Twins win and we go to a 7th game. Minnesota has Viola. St. Louis has McGrain. Cox on 2 days rest. What do you think?
Big advantage Twins. That's what I said.
Definitely, I think Viola learned a lot from the last start. And McGrain, I mean, you'd like to think at 23, intelligent young man, but I got to give the edge to anybody that has to comes in here. He does not have any advantage at all because who knows what the Cardinal pitchers are going to do. They have not pitched well here.
Rick Horton on in relief. He faces Greg Gagne in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gagne, Puckett, and Gaetti. And let's watch Gagne in the top of the 6th.
Footwork is so important to a middle infielder in particular. Watch the feet of Gagne. Trust me, it's important.
We believe you.
The positioning of the rearranging of the position of the feet, very, very important. That allows middle infielders to get off the strong throws that you see. A lot of times you see the results, you don't know how they started.
Strike to Gagne, 2-1. Gagne has hit 3 ground balls today for outs. 3-1. Cardinals still have Force throwing in the pen. Here's Bob. Little chopper off the plate. Going to be tough for Ozzie. Leaps, throws. No. Not even Ozzie.
How'd he do that? I don't know. Normally if there's a will, there's a way, but there was the will, and you'll see it right here. We always refer to him as an acrobat, and then again, but Gagne with good speed and the high hop, base hit. Pretty good 3-1 pitch down in the strike zone, and I guess being from Baltimore, we could call this the Baltimore chop, and it was. But watch this. It's just amazing. I'll tell you, if you folks don't think this is a difficult play, try it right now. And then go catch the ball and throw it before you land.
And then go right to your chiropractor. Here comes Force.
Happy trails to you. Keep. Come on, everybody, do that kick. Help kick, milk that kick. The hard man pours it on real tall. Staying in shape, milk's a part of it all. Milk! From big city slickers to wheat field kickers, America's favorite help kick, milk.
Here is Bob Forsh on in relief. He's appeared in 2 games, and he was the winning pitcher with a lot of help from his friends the other night. Some defensive gems behind him.
Well, that and his control was very erratic. I talked to him. He said, I have no idea. Of those 33 games, he started 30 of them. As you said, Al, he did get the win, but great defense by a double play by Ozzie Smith twice and a line drive out to left field that Coleman made a great play on. And for him to be effective, he has to have good control. Great signs here. Fella right behind home plate. I'm telling you, he has got a sign ready for every occasion.
Let's get the inside pitch on longtime Cardinal Bob Forsh.
Pitcher. He knows how to pitch. He mixes his pitches well. He throws a fastball, curveball, slider, and straight change, and he doesn't give in to the hitter. He's always around the plate, and he's tough to steal on. He's real quick going to the plate, which is going to make it tough for Twins runners to try to steal a base.
I think the key to Tony's report, and again, Tony and Paul have been right on with their reports throughout the series. I think the key is that he doesn't give in to the hitter, and that was our point the other night. He tries to get ahead of you and then gets you out with pitches off the plate.
Kirby Puckett, who was 4 for 20 in the first 5 games. But today, 3 for 3. He has scored twice, he has driven in a run, and he has stolen a base. Force with Gagne at first base and nobody out. All 1.
As we said, when he gets hot, he gets torrid. 6 hits, 6 for 6 in Milwaukee, and then 4 hits the next night. 10 hits in 2 games. Tony Oliva said it doesn't matter what you throw up there. Breaking ball, fastball in, fastball away, change-ups will get his hits. That's how you hit 332.
2-0.
Tell you, it didn't matter what you threw to Tony Oliva either, did it, Jim? No, 3 batting championships. Amazing hitter and hit the ball where he's pitched. So he's very much like Kirby Puckett. 1 year, over 30 home runs for Tony Oliva. Tony won his 2nd batting title in 1965, the last time the Twins were in the World Series.
And the only time the Twins won the World Series prior to this.
So Force really takes off where he left off the other night. And as Tony Gwynn said, he's experienced. He has to be around the plate.
And he can't give in to you because he does not have overpowering stuff. Never really has. Has to be on the edges, has to get ahead, and the count's 3-0. He has to come to you as a hitter. You're going to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and because Bob doesn't throw as hard as he used to, when he falls behind, it's doubly in the hitter's advantage, or to the hitter's advantage. Well, is that a big difference?
Yeah.
My goodness.
3-0 is ball 4, first and second. Mike Rourke. He's sending Pagnazzi, who was out of the game, of course. He was a pinch hitter, but is still working as the bullpen catcher. Lee Tunnell is already down in the pen, and they're going to get Daly up as well, the lefty.
You're almost looking 4 hitters down the lineup to when Herbeck comes up, but Whitey knows he cannot afford to let this game get away. Does not want to play tomorrow.
Gary Gaetti, a big 5th inning double to get the Twins rolling. 0-1. You know, Gaetti's the kind of guy, if you're a baseball fan and you don't really follow the Twins, you hear his name, you know he's a pretty good player, and then you get to watch him every day, as you do during the playoffs and the World Series, and he really grows on you. Well, he is a good player. And you really see it when you watch him day after day after day. 0-2.
You say, why is he a good player? He's probably going to win his 2nd Gold Glove. Hit over 30 home runs. He really came down about 20-some points in average this year. But he last year hit over 280. This year around 260. Can hit the ball the other way. Pretty good speed. Used to play shortstop in college. A free agent. Any general managers listening?
Or watching.
Oh, there might be a here. That's right. Nobody out. We're at the bottom of the 6th inning in Game 6. The Twins trying to stay alive, and they lead the Cardinals 6-5. Gagne at second and Puckett at first. Nobody out. Out of play.
Boy, did he get away with a mistake there. High slider, pulled foul. The good thing if you're Bob Forsch is that even though you are in a jam, Gaetti is not going to be bunting. You're not going to be playing for 1 run. So if you can make your pitch, and Forsch is a sinker baller, or more effective down the strike zone, you got the double. You have the double play in order. Now watch this 0-2 pitch. We said Pena's sitting down and away, and look at that high slider, but it was too high.
Right.
One of those pitches you can't take, but tough to put in play.
A lot of people think that if a breaking ball is up, that it's automatically a hanger and that it's easy to hit. Some breaking balls are too high. The high breaking ball is really right around the waist. The ball that breaks around the letters, regardless of how effective it is or how hard it's thrown, is usually too high to do anything with. That's what happened then.
0-2 the count. Nobody out. And that's off Pena's glove. So that eliminates the double play.
There he goes after this ball like he was crossed up. Usually when catchers aren't quick upstairs, it looks like, watch the mitt, right? See, it looks like he's looking for something to break into an area and then kind of made a wild stab at the fastball.
Ruled a pass ball.
It should have been.
Yep. Now the Cardinal infield sets up a little deep, but they may begin to cheat in, and they start to already. Does Ozzie anyway? It's short. It's second and third, and nobody out. reaches out, fouls it off. Morris gives chase, but well back out of play. 1-2.
Another good quality is plate coverage. Porsche made the pitch he wanted to make there, and Gaetti, again, didn't have a good swing at it, but he did create a situation where he's going to get another pitch to hit.
The good hitters fight those pitches off and foul them, and the bad hitters, the 250 hitters, put those balls in play.
One-two pitch. Check, 2-2. Appeal, no. Gagne at third. Puckett at second. Popped up. Smith and Herr both go out. It's Ozzie underneath it, and he has it for the first out, and a big out. One away. Now Baylor, and now they've got to think about, as you look at Baylor's home run on tape, about maybe walking Baylor to try to set up the DP with Brunansky. We'll see. Here it was in the 5th inning to tie the game.
I'll tell you, I'd pitch to him right here.
But they're not. They're going to walk him.
I mean, would you rather pitch to a regular player, a guy who plays 160 games a year, or Don Baylor, who has batted 50 times in the last 6 weeks? 50, his first home run.
I can tell you, after never throwing a grand slam in almost 4,000 innings, that I don't want to load him up. And the reason I say that is because I don't think one run is going to beat you here. I know what Whitey's saying. Let's load him up, and we'll go for the double play. And Porsche is supposed to be a sinker baller. He got that ball down to Gaetti, but he didn't hit a grounder. It's a big gamble. Brunansky, as you said, was played all year long.
I think I agree with you, Tim. I think I would have pitched to him because if I'm the manager, I'm afraid, or let's say Brunansky strikes out or pops out. Now I've got to go to get Daly to face Herbeck to get that third out of the inning, and I'm not sure I want to use Daly in the 6th.
Yep.
Anyway, mull it over.
It's certainly not a clear choice.
No.
Plus, there's no place to put Brunansky. That makes a big difference.
He hits it in the air to shallow center field. Gagne is tagging. Smith is going out, and he makes the catch, and the throw is cut off. It was deep enough so that there was no infield fly rule in effect. And 2 down as Brunansky pops out. Now you've got Herbeck, and now you've got Herzog going out, and now you're going to have Daly coming in here. So this is what Whitey's opted for.
Well, went right after him, and that's what you do with the bases loaded. And pops it up. So that's a low fastball for a pop-up from Gaetti and a high pop fly on a high fastball from Brunansky.
So here comes Daly to try to get Herbeck with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 6th.
Go from freewheeling to 4x4 fun. Chevy S10 lets you do what Ford and Toyota can't. Shift and keep right on going with standard InstaTrack.
The heartbeat of America. Chevy S10. Today's Chevy truck. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole wide world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole world.
Put the whole world in your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone. A price and technology breakthrough.
You got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Hello. With the World Series here, Ed is offering some baseball tips. When the third base coach is acting like Ed is, it is not because of a nervous condition. He is telling the batter what to do. And if the game isn't going too well, he will make a different kind of signal. He is saying, the heck with this. Let's get out of here and enjoy a cold, frosty bottle of the Bartles and James Premium Wine Cooler. Well, we hope you will do that too. And thanks for your support.
His family was murdered, and his revenge made him an outlaw. Now his obsession is to help those who have nowhere else to turn. If you are in danger, he's the best ally you ever had. But if you threaten the lives of innocent people, you're a target. You won't hear him coming. He'll give you no warning. But November 7th, he'll be here. Watch out for Sable.
Some pretty fascinating stuff going on here right now because Daly comes out of the bullpen, bases loaded, 2 out, to try to keep the Cardinals very much in the game to face Herbeck. He's the specialist. He normally comes in later than this, but Herzog, in a way, maybe feeling the game is partially on the line here. He's got to get out of this inning and stay within 1, so he's got to go to Daly early.
Yeah, game situations can come in the 1st inning, the 5th inning, or the 9th inning, and this is a game situation.
So Daly, the 4th Cardinal pitcher. They have Tunnel, a righty in the bullpen. Bases loaded, 2 out. Bottom of the 6th. Twins lead by 1. And Herbeck hits a high drive to deep center field. Mickey goes back. Grand slam! From your local station.
Wednesday.
Call me crazy, but it bugs me if someone gets away with murder. What kind of a city is this?
John Ritter is Hooperman. Then, Dabney Coleman.
Do me a favor, will you? Put the paper in my hand like that. Thanks for listening.
The Slap Maxwell story after Hooperman. Wednesday.
1987 Motor Trend Car of the Year. The world's best-selling car, America's design leader. These cars have one thing in common. They're built by a single car company that's anything but common. Ford.
Winning the world over. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over.
They call these crispy golden ocean shrimp. Isn't that a mouthful?
Jack in the Box Restaurants introduces finger foods.
I think they deserve a hand.
There's crispy egg rolls, golden shrimp, or chicken strips.
As an appetizer or a main course, they'll do in a pinch.
New finger foods from Jack in the Box. Serious food that's fun to eat.
I think they deserve another hand.
We both walked in and just went, ah, this is it. This is the house we're going to be in for the rest of our lives. It's where the children get raised. It's home. It's with everything that that word implies.
Saving for their home was hard work for Ira and Christine Fellman. Getting their loan from Home Savings of America wasn't.
It's almost like more than I ever thought I'd ever be able to achieve or to get for my family.
Celebrity Moms, Thursday at 11, only on 7.
Another World Series record tied. Yogi Berra and Moose Skowron in 56 hit 2. Gladden did it in Game 1. Here's Herbeck with natural sound, hitting it out.
swing, a race. Makes you forget not running that double out or getting picked off second, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It really does. That's right.
Seventh inning. Coleman, the top of the order, takes a strike. 0-1. One pitch from Daly. 10-5. Minnesota in the seventh inning. Berenguer now throws another strike. 0-2.
Well, you never like to give up a home run, a key base hit, and that certainly one was. But I'll tell you what, Daly came in with his best, and Herbeck was better. Went with his number one fastball.
One out. Ken Daly. Some days you do, and some days you don't.
Hey, it's a lot better than making a bad pitch and having hit it. He just went right after him and hit it over the center field fence.
Mr. Herzog. And thinking a little bit about tomorrow, even though the Cardinals still have 8 outs to go. 1-0 on Ozzie Smith. And he hits it into right field off the hands for a base hit. First hit of the game for Smith. And the first hit off Berenguer. And Tommy Herr is the batter. Herr 1 for 3. Darryl Strawberry was the last left-handed batter to homer off Ken Daly 2 years ago.
And that was an 11-inning, 1-0 ball game. And it was a high curveball. And Ken Herbeck hits the 14th Grand Slam in World Series history.
Tommy Herr tries to bunt his way on. Strike. 0-1.
And also the first hit for Herbeck against left-handers in the World Series. He's now 1 for 17, but oh, what a one.
And people wondering, the Twins fans, Herbeck, Puckett, when would they wake up? Hello? Puckett is 3 for 3 plus a walk. One and one. Outside. Signs like that adorn this beautiful city.
Who is they? They said it couldn't be done?
They turn up everywhere.
I remember John Lowenstein, one of my teammates, he says, who is they?
Well, you saw downtown Minneapolis framing the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, and inside before 55,293. That's the attendance today.
Herbeck, Bernansky, Gaetti, Puckett, they call them the Fab Four up here.
Maybe that's who they are.
1-1 the count. And now it's 2-1. The Dome. What did Dave Anderson call it in the New York Times yesterday? The Decibel Dome. 2-1 pitch. Is grounded to the right side, and that's a base hit. Ozzie Smith will hold at second. And so the Cardinals are very much still alive and kicking. 2 on with 1 out, and John Morris is the batter, and it's the first time that he has come up in the World Series. He's the last of the 48 of the 2 clubs to get in. Morris, we mentioned it the other night, grew up on Long Island in Belmore and knew a couple of the Twins, Frank Viola, and he knew Gene Larkin. He met Gene Larkin when they were in the 4th, 5th grade.
Gene Larkin's birthday today, as a matter of fact. He's 25 years old.
Morris takes inside, ball one. Now with Whitey having made the moves before, Morris comes up here hitting out of the cleanup spot. A spot in which Dreesen started, then Pagnazzi hit for him, and now Morris in the 4 slot with McGee on deck. Breaks his bat, one hopper. Lombardozzi to Gagne to Herbeck, double play. At the end of 6.5, 10-5 Twins.
How does the advanced new Chevy half-ton stand up to Ford? Chevy gives you more standard power than Ford, more cab room, more shoulder room, more two-sided galvanized steel, new 2-tier loading, and a bigger, heavier frame. So how does Ford stand up to the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade?
Not very well.
The heartbeat of America.
Test drive it.
That's today's Chevy truck.
Daniel Gray, entrepreneur, self-promoter. Everybody hears from you.
That's why I have the AT&T card.
So, of course, you've called ahead to tell your family, clients, and associates you'll be late.
No. That's a lot of buttons to press.
Dan, use the pound button.
The what button?
The pound button. That little tic-tac-toe key. Press the pound button after each call, and you never have to redial your AT&T card number.
Hey, you know, that pound button really works.
Fast, huh, Danny?
It's my kind of button.
To get the AT&T card, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Every day, Jack Taylor and Joe Donovan take the same road home. But today, they went a little out of their way.
Give you a hand.
You make America work.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
This bird's
For all the guys who go out of their way.
This bird's for you.
Continued at a ballpark near you.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
The only other World Series in which the Twins played Game 6, the 6th inning, Howie Reed on the mound. Mudcat Grant hits a 3-run homer to give the Twins a 5-0 edge. And I've got an interesting story once this inning begins. I guess I could complete it right now. Mudcat Grant's mother's name is Viola. And he will be the starting pitcher tomorrow night if the Twins win this evening.
Like it. Meanwhile, Lee Tunnell comes in for St. Louis to face Steve Lombardozzi. Now, here's what Whitey's managing both games right now. He's managing this one and he's managing tomorrow night's game. He had Daly in the game, but he has to get Daly out down by 5. He's going to need Daly tomorrow night. So he's got to go to Tunnell right now to make sure Daly is fresh tomorrow. And it's hit in the air to right and right to Morris. One gone. First time they've gotten the man they call Lombo today.
Well, it goes back to the point you made 2 innings ago when you walk Baylor to load up the bases, you get Bernansky to pop up, but you, as a manager, make yourself bring in Daly. Now, I'm not second-guessing that because I know Whitey would do the same thing tomorrow, and the result might be different. But what you do is make you bring Daly in earlier. And now we see Tunnell because you are managing for tomorrow.
Well, one of the great things about this game is you mow over all this stuff. There's no black and white answer. If there was a black and white answer to everything, it wouldn't be half the fun it is.
Wouldn't have the charm that it does.
I'll tell you what is black and white. 10, 8, and 10 runs for the Twins when they play here in 5 and 3 games in Busch Stadium.
That's driven to right, and Morris is there fading on it. 2 down, and Gagne will be the batter. A reminder, they're coming up on Monday night. The regulars are back. And Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern Time will feature the Los Angeles Rams against the Cleveland Browns. Rams trying to get healthy. And also, if we go to a 7th game of the World Series, they're going to play the Bronco-Viking game on Monday night, and we'll have coverage of that in selected areas for you. 1-0 the count on Gagne. 2 out, bases empty. Twins. Strike. 1-1.
Tunnel pitched in the second game. Pitched fairly well. He had the looper to Gagne to really kind of bury them. But then other than that, the home run to Laudner over the center field fence.
Tommy Herr with a nice backhand stop and throw, and that's that. As they get Gagne, and Tunnel has a 1-2-3 inning. On to the 8th. 10-5 Twins.
Great. But we wanted a Bud Light.
Bud Light! If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
I'll go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else we just overlooked.
You know, Karen, you're a talented architect. A wonderful partner.
Come on, Maggie, let's hear it.
A financial genius. You're not.
You know anybody who is?
We can help.
I agree.
At New York Life, we have the resources to make the most of your resources. We offer a range of financial opportunities, including mutual funds, IRAs, and limited partnerships. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Get the most out of life with New York Life.
These days, to have information bouncing off a satellite is not exactly front-page news. But when it's headlines and pictures, ball scores and stock prices, that is news. And it's all going from a Contel satellite to nationwide printing plants. On time, every time. If you have news to get out, Contel can help you too. For Contel, I'm Chuck Ness.
It took 2,000 years, but a revolutionary discovery is changing the way men think about coloring their gray hair. It's called Just for Men, from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, shampoo out. Your gray is blended away, leaving your natural-looking color. 5 minutes. Here, look at me. Just for Men leaves your hair looking healthy and fuller, and it won't fade or wash out. Just for Men, in the men's hair care section.
8th inning in the Rockin' Dome. Well, Elvis will be leaving the building shortly. Letterman calls up, gets me on the phone, and he's got some selected home run calls he wanted to hear. That was one of them. Instead of, it's gone or she's out of here, we're supposed to say when a ball leaves, Elvis will be leaving the building shortly, or Elvis has left the building. Well, Elvis left the building when Herbeck cranked one into the seats. No question about that. McGee starts the 8th inning. McGee and then Pendleton to follow. And Juan Berenguer trying to wrap this one up. Ten to 5. Kelly has to think about something here, too. He's got a 5-run lead. He's got Berenguer who's worked 2 innings, and he's got tomorrow, he hopes. Does he want to have Reardon pitch an inning today and maybe be a little sharper? Does he want to bring Berenguer out? Because if Berenguer, let's say, were to go all the way, if he worked 4 innings today, he might be limited tomorrow. So he's got that thing to mull over right now. What do you think, Jim?
I think 1 inning.
You think 1 inning for Reardon?
Yeah, but going back to that story he told us about trying to get that kid in the minor leagues some innings when the score was 9-0 and when it ended 9-8. He's got to manage for today. But part of managing for today is to get Reardon an inning so he'll be sharp. And then you do have Berenguer, who pitched in 4 out of the 5 playoff games. As you look at Jeff Reardon, he's looking down there.
Yeah,
he either hears us or he's looking for a message.
I think he'd like an inning. McGee fouls it back. Remember, he had yesterday off, and there's Viola, who will pitch tomorrow. But Reardon has not worked very much in this series. He did not work in Game 1. He worked 1 inning in Game 2. He did not pitch in 3. He didn't pitch in 4, and he's getting ready. And he worked a couple of innings, an inning and a fraction in 5.
I think you do it as much as you said. You do it as much for Reardon as you do, or Berenguer as much as you do Reardon. You really compliment both pitchers. If indeed that's Kelly's idea about bringing Reardon in the 9th inning.
2-2 the count. Well, what's impressed me so much about Juan Berenguer, a couple of tough outings. You know, everybody kind of blamed Tom Kelly along with Juan for squandering that 1-0 lead. That's pretty easy to do with the 3 runs back in Game 3, but he's really adjusted. He's used his breaking pitch, and you learn from your mistakes, and this is one guy that has.
Three and 2 on Willie McGee. Worrell and the good Dr. London, the rest of the Cardinals.
I don't think Tom Kelly wants to bring in Reardon by necessity. He would want to bring him in to give him an inning's worth of work. He doesn't want to bring him in to a tight situation. There's a big difference.
Exactly. Herbeck. 1 out. Pendleton coming up.
Yeah, you asked any reliever, and they want to come in to start the inning if they have a choice. Now, obviously, they don't on many occasions.
We mentioned Viola definitely tomorrow. Look, what Whitey said before the game was this. He said, I'm thinking about McGrain, who pitched in Game 1. The other day he had mentioned Cox on 2 days rest, but he said, I'm thinking about McGrain. I'm going to talk to Cox. So it will be one of the two. If it's Cox, he's going on 2 days rest as Pendleton hurts himself on that swing. You can tell that Terry is in a little bit of agony. Remember, he's got that rib damage. And so while he shakes it off, the count is 0-1. But Whitey's got McGrain, who has not pitched since Game 1, at least has started since Game 1. And Cox on 2 days rest. Matthews, but Matthews has come out of 2 postseason games with that quadricep injury, so it can't be him. Or it doesn't figure to be.
Whitey has said he would be very, very unlikely to get into another ball game. Greg Matthews, that is.
So what he does is he starts to look backwards, and optimally for Whitey, he says, let me see. I get 2 or maybe 3 out of Worrell. If Daly can give me 1 or 2, I got to get me somebody to give me 5.
That's where the problem arises.
Well, on the stat sheet, you know, throughout you go into a major league clubhouse, and it has all of the averages of the players. And then there's another category that says others down at the bottom. That's for the players that have been farmed out, brought up, and a conglomerate average for all of those that have been there. Tomorrow, it's others for both teams. Others.
All others.
Yeah.
That's fouled back. And it's 2-2.
It'd be interesting if they start Joe McGrain. He really did not pitch that poorly. The line score shows that he gave up 4 or 5 runs, but 8 days between starts, not the best circumstances, even though he's thrown on the side, but that's not like pitching in a ball game.
Still 2-2 on Terry Pendleton.
There is no question that if the Twins win this game, they have a much more stable pitching situation for a lot of reasons. They're going with their ace, Frank Viola. They have a rested bullpen for the most part. Reardon, certainly their stopper. You got a guy who can go 6 or 7 innings, and Reardon healthy. Schatzeder relatively rested.
Line to right field deep. Bernansky goes back and plays it off the trash bag and holds him to a single. Tom Bernansky owns the canvas out there. And, well, he should. He's been playing here since the ballpark opened.
Pendleton said he likes to look for a fastball off of Berenguer, and this is what it comes down to. He gets one, and then just smashes it to right. But down by 5 runs, and having seen Bernansky play the trash bag out there, you stay right at first. It's like really Yaz playing the left field wall. People that are really adept playing a certain ballpark.
Lindemann, 1-0. There's Reardon now, beginning to throw in the pen. I know one thing about Bernansky. If he ever takes a highlight, I want him in my quinoa. 2-0 the count.
You imagine someone trying to pick up the game. They've heard all these terms. And now finally you hear about an outfielder playing the trash bag.
Yeah. There it is.
Make you want to give up the game of baseball. I've heard everything.
3-0. How about Bernansky? 30 years from now, telling his grandkids nobody could play the trash bag like I did. Dick Such is going to go out to the mound now with a count 3-0. Dick Such is a guy who knows a little bit about pitching. He was a minor league pitcher for the most part, and in one particular season, Dick Such was 0-16, and his earned run average was 2.81. There it is. In 1967, York, Pennsylvania in the Eastern League, he was 0-16 with a 2.81 ERA, and do you know what? He got called up by the parent club at the end of the season. Didn't pitch, though.
Only a parent would call you up.
Yeah, that parent club was the second edition of the Washington Senators, not the ones that are now the Minnesota Twins, the ones that are now the Texas Rangers. And he said, as Lindemann stands in with a count 3-0, ready to take a pitch here. Such said on the last day of the year, he's 0-15. He has a 1-run lead, 2 out of the 9th inning, and the second baseman made an error to allow 2 runs to score.
But you wouldn't be talking about it if he hadn't done that.
That's right. In the air to shallow right. Bernansky calls Lombardozzi off and makes the play. 2 down.
Much more impressive to be 0-16 than 1-15.
Bob Miller of the original New York Mets won a game on the last day of the season to make his record 1-12 back in 1962.
Tom Lawless got a hit on the last day of this season to get his second hit of the year. Tom Lawless. And then there's Oquendo, who's 1 for 2.
It'll be interesting to see if this game does or is played tomorrow. Will Viola pitch around Lawless?
2 out. There's Tom. 0-1 again. Pendleton goes, it's low, and they just give him second base. So Terry, despite the rib problems, has 2 steals today and was going on another pitch at one point. Hanging out a sign for Whitey, he wants to play tomorrow.
And he might if a right-hander were pitching. He can throw, he can hit from the left side, but I don't think Whitey wants to match up Viola against Pendleton hitting left-handed.
In the air to center. If Newton was right, this baby will plop into the glove of Puckett. And Sir Isaac, you never fail us. At the end of 7 1/2, 10-5, Minnesota.
The advanced new Chevy half-ton is all new. Ford isn't. And the advantages stack up. Chevy gives you new 2-tier loading. Ford doesn't. More 2-sided galvanized steel. a bigger, heavier frame, and on top of it all, more standard power with Vortec V6. Want a load of new features? Test drive the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade.
The heartbeat of America.
The advanced new full-size Chevy.
That's today's Chevy truck. As the years go by, I know I'll always have a friend. Just as long as you stand by me.
For over 100 years, friendships have been formed and kept over the quality beers of Anheuser-Busch.
Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
In McDonald's, we're tossing salads fresh all day. Every day.
I mean, it's fresh when you get it, and it's fresh when I pop it in my mouth. It's like having somebody come in your own kitchen and make you a salad.
I come through the drive-thru, it's quick, it's easy.
McDonald's chef salad, chicken salad, oriental, and garden salad. For a taste that's tossed fresh.
It's really crisp and fresh.
My taste buds just went crazy.
Tossed fresh all day. McDonald's salads.
It doesn't matter where.
I looked up and there was no more ceiling, no more roof.
It doesn't matter when.
We didn't know where to turn.
The Allstate Catastrophe Team stands ready. A team of experts around the country ready to converge on any disaster.
My Allstate adjuster was here on the spot.
The Allstate adjuster showed me that he had the compassion for a person that really needs it.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
You are in good hands.
You're in good hands.
With Allstate.
That's for sure.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Back in Minnesota, Al Michaels along with Jim Palmer and Tim McCarver, Game 6. First 6 games of series, each won by the home team. Dodgers in 55, they went on to win. Yankees 56, they did. Dodgers 65, they did. And Pirates against Baltimore in 71, James. You were in that series?
Yes, I was. We were, well, in fact, the whole team was in the series till Steve Blass came to the mound and beat us 2-1 on the final game of the World Series that year.
At Baltimore.
Yes.
So now Puckett to start things in the bottom of the 8th inning. Gaetti and Baylor to follow. Lee Tunnel in relief. 10-5 Twins. Cardinals in the 9th. As you look at Straker, who started this game for Minnesota, the Cardinals have 8-9-1. Oquendo, Pena, and Coleman.
In 1955, when that first happened, that was the game Johnny Padres shut out the Yankees 2-0. And Game 7 at Yankee Stadium, the catch in the 8th inning by Sandy Amorose.
Right at the line. Two and one. Mr. Baylor, and don't forget Mr. Baylor, on Mr. Herbeck's day, was the guy who tied the game with a 2-run blast in the 5th. Trying to keep a perfect day alive. 3 singles and a walk. 3-2. Take a look at some college scores. Through the middle, Hearn knocks it down, has no play. Carl Pohlad, the owner of the Minnesota Twins, has just watched Kirby Puckett get his 4th hit. It's an infield single, 4 for 4 plus a walk.
The ball appeared to hit the seam, and we saw the other night the ball on Ken Herbeck that Vince Coleman went to first base. The ball hit the seam to start off that inning for the Cardinals. in Game 5. Infield hit for Puckett.
Gaetti now. 1-0 the count.
That's what makes it so difficult on the turf. A lot of times you hear people say the ball does speed up. It doesn't speed up. It just doesn't slow down any. So even though you get to the ball, instead of getting it in the pocket, you get it in the heel of the glove. And as you said, when it has a regular bounce because it's hitting the seam, it makes the play even harder.
2-0. A 7th game tomorrow night at 8 Eastern time. And don't forget, we get an extra hour of sleep as we go back to standard time. So if he starts Danny Cox, the good news for Herzog is he has 2 days and 1 extra hour's rest. You'll take it where you can find it,
That's right. That's right. Timmy, I don't know about you, but the only pitcher that I ever pitched with that ever pitched on 2 days rest was Mike Cuellar, and he was more or less a hard thrower when he first came up, but a junk baller could change speed. So, well, Cox really is not that type of pitcher.
I don't think so, even though he doesn't rely on the fastball. Of course, the well-chronicled last 3 weeks of the 1964 season for the Philadelphia Phillies when Jim Bunning and Chris Short, managed by Gene Mock, went on 2 days rest quite a bit. Gene's still living that down, that season down. And that is a real shame, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
One of a truly terrific manager.
To center field, McGee got a late read on it, but now he gauges it. 1 down, and Don Baylor is the batter. You know, an interesting thing, Tim, that you brought up in regard to Mock, and I was thinking of his nephew, Roy Smalley of the Twins. Roy's dad played for about 11 years in the big leagues, and Uncle Gene has not gotten to a World Series. And Roy, as you take a look at Randy Bush coming up to hit for Baylor, Roy Jr. finally makes it into the series this year. So a long, long time for the Smalley clan. And Roy Jr. will be 35 tomorrow. Here's Bush. Randy takes outside, ball 1. Grounded off the glove of Lindemann into right field, and Puckett will go to third. So Randy Bush comes off the bench to put runners at first and third with 1 out and bring up Bernansky.
Most likely will be an error, but this ball is nailed. You can see him holding the runner, talking about Jim Lindemann. Has to backhand it because he doesn't have any time to play it any other way. Right fielder, used to play third base. Pretty close down at first base.
I'll tell you what's really interesting, the fact that Randy Bush pinch hit then. Don Baylor was the right-handed hitter when the Twins were only up by 1 in the 6th inning.
Right.
Against a right-hander.
But I'll tell you why. Because all year long, everybody's talked about Tom Kelly using everybody. And I think what he wanted to do, even though Baylor with a 2-run home run, he wanted to get him another at-bat in case he has to face Cox tomorrow.
Do you think that Tom Kelly knew that Whitey Herzog would walk Baylor anyway?
Good question. That's grounded fair, knocked down by Oquendo and picks up, throws, and gets him on a wonderful play, but the Twins get another run as Puckett crosses the plate. So Bernansky grounds out but gets an RBI, 2 down, and it's 11-5.
Oh, no idea about that, but I think Baylor would have hit then as you take another look at that play. Kendall, as Timmy said, is a great shortstop when he gets a chance to play, and you can see why. Great range, and now you see the arm, even though it's been bothering him. Not too many third basemen even get to that. And here you see the tail end of the play on the good throw and the good stretch by Lindemann.
Now they will walk Herbeck intentionally. The last time he came up, there was no place to put Herbeck on with the bases loaded. But with the opportunity here not to pitch to him and take their chances with Laudner instead, they walk him to put runners at first and second. On Bush's ball, by the way, it's ruled an error on Lindemann. And we can tell you this telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball, including Ken Herbeck's household. where it might be replayed a few times through the years. Herbeck, and here it was again in the sixth. Made the score 9-5. And right now, Herbeck at first, with Laudner at the plate and a half swing strike. Bush at second, Herbeck at first. 2 down in the 8th inning. 11-5 Twins. If the nose, ear, and throat doctors in this town don't do big business next week, I give up. Between the larynxes and the ringing eardrums. Wow. Smith to her, but the Twins get another run. It's unearned. To the 9th, 11-5 Minnesota in Game 6.
Memo to Phil and DP. You seem to think IBM's 386 PCs are an automatic buy. I don't. Not when we have a choice. I suggest you look at AT&T's 6386.
Introducing the AT&T 6386 workgroup system.
The issue here isn't just computers and software, but it's keeping our options open, now and down the road.
Really, Norton, you'd think you'd never had ice cream before. Oops.
There's only one camera system you can buy that lets you hold the picture in your hand while you still hold the feeling in your heart. The Polaroid Spectra system.
When David's not around, nothing takes his place. But wearing his Van Heusen sure helps.
Van Heusen, for a man to wear and a woman to borrow.
You know, Jerry, you're a terrific husband and a super salesman.
Hey, Beth, what is this?
A financial genius. You're not.
Very few of us are. We can help. At New York Life, we have the resources to make the most of your resources. We offer a range of financial opportunities, including mutual funds, universal life, and limited partnerships. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Get the most out of life with New York Life.
Saturday.
Cut!
A new team.
You could be a star.
I'm flattered.
In a killer's fantasy. O'Hara at a special time. Then Mikhail Baryshnikov, David Copperfield, B. Arthur, Don Johnson, and more. A command performance for the president. The All-Star Gala at Ford's Theater. And on Hotel, Peter's ex-girlfriend is running a risky business.
This is an escort service.
Prostitution, you call that a step up?
Hotel, right after O'Hara and the All-Star Gala Saturday.
You know what I think's happening these days? The playoffs are so exciting. It takes the World Series a little time to build. And early on in this series, there didn't appear to be that much interest. And then all of a sudden, we're 3 outs away from a 7th game, and it's a very interesting series.
With the exception of the series starting here, as a matter of fact, what's a good story? It has a good beginning, middle, and end. This is going to end like it began, very noisily. Huh?
Well, I'm sure the Cards don't want that to happen.
It's going to end noisily, regardless of whether the Twins win or lose.
9th inning, Jeff Reardon has come in. So Kelly does opt, as we suspected before, to give Reardon an inning, inasmuch as he has not been that active, and he will be fresher in Tom's mind tomorrow if needed. He faces Pena, and the count on Pena is 1-1. Pena, Coleman, and Smith in the 9th. Berenguer worked 3, meaning tomorrow night he probably could get maybe 2 innings out of him.
Well, the way he pitched in the playoffs, he might want to get the ball to start. 4 out of 5 games. But outstanding job, and he changes patterns. Speaking of patterns, this guy has so many options. I really didn't have a chance, Tim, to see him pitch that much. As you look at Kirby Puck, 4 for 4, 4 runs scored. Red Giroux.
Well, I
lot easier to score 4 runs when you hit 3 home runs. I assume it's in that ball game.
I do too. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
2-2. Goose Goslin of the Washington Senators. 1924. That's the only world championship this franchise has won. And that's hit over Gagney's head into center for a base hit. So Pena is on. A leadoff single in the 9th inning, and Vince Coleman comes up. Battling a case of the flu and 0 for 4. Vince is now 4 for 23 in the series.
I'll tell you, I know this sounds a little strange, but even if the Cardinals don't catch the Twins, they would like to see Reardon throw a lot of pitches. And to have them possibly score 3 runs. Give them something to think about. Not only doing that, do you make a battle out of it and give them a finish, but you get Reardon throwing a lot of pitches and spoil the strategy of Tom Kelly.
Broken bat, little squiver up the middle, and a nice play by Lombardozzi to cross the bag and then come back and get Pena. 4-run assisted. 1 away here in the 9th inning.
Oh, such a good play. Number 1, he catches the ball, and we saw what could happen in St. Louis when the ball hits the dirt. Doesn't think about 2. Of course, Coleman's running, but gets the sure out with an 11-5 lead. That's what you want to do. Gagney backs him up just in case something happens to keep the runner from going to third, but nice play.
So 1 out. And to our crew, our thanks for the job today, led by Kurt Gowdy Jr., our producer, and Craig Janoff, our director.
Not only today, but all 6 games. They've been fabulous.
Absolutely. Smith hits it in the air to right field, and Grunansky goes back to the base of the fence and has it. Second long out for Ozzie Smith, and the crowd will build. They're an out away from sending it to 7. Here's her. If you were wondering about the decibel meter we showed you earlier, that baby is broken. Herbeck's home run rendered it inoperative. Gonzo out of here. Two out of the 9th. Tommy Herr. I think the crowd is pacing itself. I really do.
Like weird.
Yeah. They know they've got one more night. So there are little lulls here and there just to rest the vocal cords. Smalley and Baylor. Runner goes, and a base hit into right field with Lombardozzi going over to cover second. And that was sort of odd because what they were really doing is letting Coleman have free reign. The throw wasn't going to go through anyway, and then Lombardozzi goes over, and Kelly's angry because if Lombardozzi had stayed where he should have stayed, this game would be over.
Certainly, he would have had a play, and you're exactly right. With playing behind Vince Coleman, you're going to give him second anyway, and that's the reason that Kelly is upset. Watch Lombardozzi on the top of your screen. You do that out of habit, but a case can be made that the ball game's over had he stayed in his position.
Of course, I'd rather have him do it in an 11-5 game and learn from it than have it happen tomorrow night.
If it were a close game, though, they'd be holding him on.
That's true. But then there'd be a reason to cover.
Yeah, right.
0-1 the count on Morris with 2 out and 2 on in the 9th. And Minnesota leading 11-5.
And that's the most emotion we've seen from Tom Kelly. And again, that's not putting, I mean, it sounds like, or it looks like it may be putting down the second baseman, but he'll learn from it, and I'm sure he'll talk to him, and it's not going to happen again. That's what baseball is all about. Living, learning, failing, succeeding.
Runner goes, uncontested steal, and a strike, and they give Tommy Hurst second base.
It's a pretty good idea of why you need to blow out the Cardinals.
0-2. Cardinals down to their last strike. Grounded to Herbeck, foul ball. Still 0-2. Pena and the Cardinals one more night in Minneapolis. A reminder, those of you on the West Coast, Cal against UCLA college football following. 0-2. Popped up. Laudner coming over, and the Twins send it to 7. Play of the game, Ken Herbeck. Ken Daly had come in. Game tied. 6th inning. Bases loaded. Let's go to Reggie with Ken Herbeck.
Thank you very much, Al Michael. With me, a couple of stars in the ball game, all three of them, Ken Herbeck. Did you feel that they had to hear from you three guys today offensively? You've been kind of quiet the World Series.
It's been the whole talk. Me and Kirby, Group threw in with a big home run for us. The first one, I guess tied up, I guess. I don't know what the heck it did. But
4 hits, 4 runs scored. Nice going.
Well, thanks, Reg. I was just trying to hit the ball up the middle of the day. Tudor had a change up, just trying to stay back and just stay within myself like I've been all year. And I was just glad to do it today.
Johnny Baylor, a lot of experience. Mr. Clutch again, a big home run.
Well, it's a change-up down. I'm pretty sure it's a good pitch for Tudor, but in that situation, I was looking to drive in the run, and so it happened I hit it out of the ballpark.
Minnesota Twins, you guys come home, you never say die. Let's go back up to Al Michaels.
Thank you, Reggie. So that's the story from Minneapolis. Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, Tim McCarver saying so long from the Dome, where the Twins even the series at 3 games apiece, beating the Cardinals today 11-5. Coming up next on the West Coast, California and UCLA. Then tomorrow on ABC Sports, the McDonald's Basketball Open features the Soviet Union against the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks. And then tomorrow night, the one-game showdown. Game 7 of the World Series from the Metrodome. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Game 6 of the 1987 World Series has been brought to you by Merrill Lynch, by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Chevrolet. the official car and truck of Major League Baseball. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll see you tomorrow.